Good afternoon and welcome to Nethermore here on Guiseley AFC Radio. We're going to be bringing you live and exclusive commentary from this afternoon's game where the Lions take on Workington in the Skrill Conference North. Of course, looking to bounce back here at Nethermore after that disappointing home game where we lost 3-0 to Solihull Moors, but they've done well on the travels of the Lions. Two impressive performances saw Gainsborough overcome 2-1 on Tuesday night. And then on Saturday, Colwyn Bay, who rather stole a point from us right at the death, a very controversial decision by the referee to add on so much extra time to that game. But it did mean that guys had dropped 2 points. But once again, another impressive performance. So before we go any further, let's just introduce. I'm Colin Robertson. I'll be with you across for the 90 minutes. And alongside me today will be Nick Keefe. Nick, this is going to be an important game, isn't it, to get back on that 3 points?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating first week to the season. No real pattern to the season yet. We've had a loss, a win and a draw. And I guess the early momentum running through the first month or so of the season is going to be largely decided by how the game goes today. Yeah,
and it's important that we get back on the road, isn't it, really, with another 3 points. Well, let's just go now to hear the views of Steve Kittrick, and this is what he had to say after the game on Saturday. Steve Kittrick, after the away draw 2-2 at Colwyn Bay. Steve 2-0 up on Cruise and sending off, and then pulled back to 2-2 in the very last minute of the game. It feels like 2 points lost, not one gain, doesn't it?
Well, it is what it is. I mean, you've stood and watched it, and with 2-0 and with Cruise in, the sending off something and nothing, you know. And I've been to see the referee, and he just said it was intent, and if that was intent, I've never seen anything stupid in my life. But you know, the referees, it's the worst refereeing display I've seen for a long time at this level. And if it's necessary, I'd just like to see what he'd mark him on and see what he's got to say, because it was ridiculous.
It was certainly frustrating to watch that game and the way that it happened in the last half hour, because up to the hour mark and getting the second goal, we were in real command, weren't we? It was an impressive performance.
Yeah, but we go down with 10 men and you reorganise your play. You have to go 2 banks of 4 and one up top, and we looked all right. We were dealing with it, and then they're bombarding the area. I mean, they're a back to front team, and that's what it is all the time. I mean, they are back to front. You change 2 players, you put 2 bigger players on for the last couple of minutes, and they haven't scored. They haven't scored from a ball that's floated in, with a ball that's been put outside. But the free kick that he gave for the final goal was just preposterous. And I have never ever. I don't get onto referees because I've got an hard job, but I've just been in there and spoke to him, and if he speaks to the players like he spoke to me, I just asked him how old he is, and he's told me he's 29. I said, well, show me some respect, 'cause I'm a lot older than you. Don't talk down to me. And that's what it's been all day. It's all been about him. And that's a poor example of refereeing I've ever seen. I mean, the 2-footed challenge on Marsh, I've asked him about that, and he just turned around and said, well, the guy were blocking it. I said, well, that's the idea of the game when you're a defender, is to stop the ball. But it's how you do it. So that one's a block. Let him get away with it. But it's been rubbish.
It's been infuriating. How are the lads feeling, do you think, after that? I mean, to have come here and earned a point would be one thing, but the way that we've lost the 3 points today, it must be a bit of a downer ahead of Monday.
Yeah, well, I've just said to him, look, I don't blame you for anything today, because I think your effort and everything, endeavour's been fantastic. But when you get a refereeing display like that, what's he booking Drenchy for? It's his option to go which either side he wants. He's wasting time. What's all that about? Just some of the decisions I don't know where he's got it from. But at the end of the day, what I've said is, look, end of season, we might look at this, and it might be the point that gets us where we need to be. That's the only positive thing we can take out of it. But we've got to dust ourselves down and get organised for Monday, and hopefully get 3 points at home.
And it's been 2. Obviously good performances since last Saturday at home. Home crowd's going to see the side again at Nethermore on Monday. They're going to see a different side, aren't they, to last Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, you look at last Saturday, and I probably made, there's too many young lads started. They've done well in pre-season, but on Tuesday we went for some experience that's played in this league, and it worked well. And we'll do the same again at home against Workington. But Workington will be tough. They're a good organised side. Darren's got them organised, and he wants to play it the right way. But this will hurt again, because it's just silly little things, but all you can say is, you come away from home on a bank holiday, and if you win your own games and get a point away from home, you're all right. So if we can take something out of it, we've got a point. We hopefully get 3 points on Tuesday. Is 7 points out of the first 4 games acceptable? Well, I think it is, you know what I mean, and because we've got a lot of new players and we're playing a new system, so we just got to keep pecking away. But I've just said to the lads now, we've got to forget about it and get on with it. We can have a chat on the bus and say, referees this, referees that. We probably could have defended it a little bit better. I mean, Reece Maynolds just stood up and said, well, he thinks from the free kick people weren't picking up properly, and he may be right. But I just think people were more concentrating on what happened to the free kick instead of getting picked up at right side of a man. But anyway, can't fix that back now. It's they've got a point, we've lost 2, but we've got to get on with it.
Yeah, go again on Monday. Well, Steve, thanks very much.
Right,
Cheers.
Cheers.
That was Steve Kittrick, who of course was talking to me after the Colwyn Bay game, and Nick, he was rightly very, very disappointed with the outcome of that game, and in particular, of course, the influence that the referee he felt had on that match.
It's such a frustrating position to be in. You've thinking about it from the point of view of the team. They've made the drive down there. They've prepared well. They've had a good game in midweek. They've gone in with the same shape and more or less the same team that they've had in the week, and they've gone in and outplayed Colwyn Bay. They've gone away from home. They've deserved the 3 points and come away with only 1. And it might not be too bold to say, it felt as though the referee was almost willing to allow however much time was needed for that. We said on the text commentary at the time that the second Colwyn Bay goal, the equaliser, came, we thought, 5.5 minutes almost into the 4 minutes of added time. Now we know that's a minimum, but it did feel a little bit as though the referee had decided that he was quite keen to. Yeah, we've got to be.
Well, yeah, I think in fairness, I felt he just got a number of decisions wrong, and I think the way that swung in Colwyn's favour was the crucial thing to the game. The free kick decisions, but there were many decisions that we felt perhaps we got. They were just in less dangerous areas. They were less important on the overall course of the game.
Yeah.
But then again, there was that also point, and I think that was made, and we're just about to see the lads come out, and we'll go through the teams in a moment. But there was also that point that really we shouldn't be switching off. Yeah. We should be making sure, we shouldn't become victims or decide that we're victims as a team, and to keep on top of the discipline and doing the simple things and picking up the players. And Steve alluded to that Reece Maynolds mentioned that at the very end.
And it's interesting that it would be Reece Maynolds, because Steve's going to be looking to his experienced players to be the ones that take a calm head in a situation like that. We've got these 3 players on 2-year contracts: Stephen Drench, Andy Holdsworth, Danny Ellis, and people like Reece Maynolds, Gavin Rothery, experienced players. These are the ones who need to be getting a hold of some of the youngsters like Jamil Eblay. We had Jake Scott playing his first away game in the Conference North, and Michael Potts is only, I think, 21. So in those situations, we don't want to be getting known as a team that's got a bit of a soft underbelly that can be pressured into losing a win in that situation. And I think so today will be very interesting, because there's going to be some of those young lads who are really going to want to put it to Workington, and maybe the managers had a word beforehand and said, look, we need to, this is still a team performance, it's a blank sheet, maybe they need to go out and forget about Saturday, or don't worry about trying to stuff them, but put on the disciplined performance that the manager will actually want to see.
Well, that's of course means that was the past. Colwyn Bay, it's gone. This is the future. We hope you are picking us up loud and clear on our station. Of course, if you've got any feedback about the quality of the coverage, anything you'd like to say, do let us know. We're, of course, following this on the forum, and we've set up a thread on there. We've also got Twitter. I am at Menston United if you want to give me your views. Try and keep them clean for me, and I'll even air them on air. But also welcome to anyone who may be tuning in from our opponents today, Workington. We'll try and give a fair and balanced view. Yep. We are, of course, a Guiseley through and through, but we'll try and call it as we see it. and we hope you enjoy the coverage. Let's start off with the team lineups this afternoon, starting with our visitors. They have Jonathan Mitchell in goal, then 2 to 11, Dominic Kennedy, Gavin Skelton, Kyle May, Dan Wordsworth, Stephen Hindmarch, Scott Allison, David Lynch, Johnny Wright, Joseph Jackson and Ross Wilson. On the bench today for the visitors, Lee Andrews, Connor Tinian, George Conway, Jake Smith and Ben McKenna. Now for the Lions, they line up 1 to 11 as follows: Stephen Drench, Jack Rea, Rhys Maynell, Jake Scott, Danny Ellis, who's captain today, Jamil Eblay, Wayne Brooksby, Michael Potts, Craig Hobson, Phil Marsh, Gavin Rothery, and then on the bench today we have Adam Priestley, James Burgess, Spencer Harris, Jake Lawler, and then the subs goalkeeper, once again, James Montgomery. Nick, what do you make to that lineup?
I think Andy Holdsworth is a big loss. I think he's got a stomach bug. We think he's down with. So best wishes to him. I think he's had a night in hospital or something. So best wishes to him in getting better. Big influence then that Michael Potts seemed to be organising the midfield on Saturday, and big opportunity for him to take control in that central area. Jake Scott now making his third start and still looking for his first win in a Guiseley shirt, and so I think that central midfield pairing will be very, very important today in setting the tone and the pace of the game. If Guiseley can get into a passing tempo, then we know they've got lots of options going forward. But it might be a little bit about making sure that midfield is disciplined and compact.
Yeah, and great to see as the two teams come out, as you can probably hear in the background. Good to see a good opportunity this afternoon. Phil Marsh to show how his partnership with Craig Hobson's been working. He's been doing an awful lot of work in those 2 games away, and obviously didn't even figure in the first game of the season. So this could be a big afternoon for him.
Yeah, I feel a bit bad that he's not had a goal yet, actually, because he's been working ever so hard. Obviously, people have got mixed feelings about him. He's yet to show the form that he showed when he was at Stalybridge last time he was in this division, that's for sure. So I think a goal would be good for his confidence. Craig Hobson has had a goal. He took his goal really well on Saturday, and that looks like a strike partnership that's waiting to bear fruit. So it'd be nice to see him get on the score sheet today.
And Danny Ellis, of course, got the first goal on Saturday. He also had one cleared off the line, didn't he? He looked like he was turning from centre forward to striker, wasn't it, at one point?
Oh, well, everybody knows that he's never been short of commitment in a Guiseley shirt. He is a guy who really does put in a shift, and that sets the standard for the new players that come in and play alongside, like the likes of Jamil Eblay in defence. Of this is how we want to play here. It's going to be high effort, high octane stuff.
Well, the two teams are now out onto the pitch. Beautiful day, gorgeous day. Perhaps a little bit too warm for football. It's certainly, I think, in the low 20s here at Nethermore, and glorious. Weather, and the two sides are just lining up, just to get ready for the coin toss. Guys, I think are going to be kicking from right to left, but I think we still have that to be worked out. Workington will be playing with red shirts, white shorts and red socks, and Guiseley in the usual home kit, white shirts, dark blue shorts and socks. Referee today is Glenn Hart. He's going to be assisted by Paul Newhouse and Helen Conley. So we're just waiting for the officials and the captains to go through the coin toss. So we just have a couple of minutes to wait before we get started. Good crowd here, isn't there, Nick?
Yeah, it's one where you wonder on a bank holiday Monday, are people going to be out doing family stuff, or are they going to be around coming down to the football? It's a better turnout than it was this time last Saturday for the Solihull game.
Yeah. And it's quite a different. This is more of the season start sort of sensation here today. Guys have won the toss. They're going to take the kick, and Jake Scott lines up alongside Gavin Rothery to take that kick off. And the referee just goes through his final checks, and he's got the game underway. And so away we go. Guys, he's shooting from right to left, and Workington shooting from left to right as we watch it towards the Bowling Green end, and immediately have the ball on the ground with Ross Wilson, and has just not been able to keep it in touch. So Guiseley have a throw inside the Workington half, about midway through their half on the left hand side, and a good bright start here. Rhys Maynell with the ball in his hands, plays it into Gavin Rothery, takes it down well on the knee, but beaten to it, and then a battling tackle there from Potts wins the ball back for Guiseley for a moment, and then eventually the referee says just a little bit too much from Gavin Rothery on there. And hopefully we won't be talking too much about the officials this afternoon, as
good
we might have
refereeing.
been on Saturday.
That was good refereeing there. There was a sort of a maybe foul by Michael Potts. He's let it go because Workington had the ball still, and then when it's clear there's no advantage, he's stopped it for the next challenge.
Dominic Kennedy takes the ball long, launches it long rather, up to the edge of the 18-yard box, but Guiseley win the possession back, and now Gavin Rothery starts a counter-attack down the left-hand side, short into Hobson. Takes a sting out of the move, keeps the possession for the Lions. Rhys Maynell on the halfway line, launches it forward, chested down by Brooksby, then into Hobson. Hobson, about 20 yards from goal, has Rothery on the left-hand side, plays it left, then back to Maynell. Maynell launches it into the area, up towards Hobson. Good clearing header there from Dan Wordsworth to take it away from Hobson's head, and then cleared up to the halfway line. Jack Rea playing in right back this afternoon. Once again, gets the ball forward and then lays it back to Scott. And Workington win with their left back, Gavin Skelton. He launches one long, looking for Joseph Jackson, but it's beaten to it by Ebley. And Guiseley move forward once again, down this right-hand side. Brooksby lays it out wide here. Chance now for Marsh to get the ball into the area. He does brilliantly, and almost a chance there for Hobson to get on the end of it, but good flowing move there from Guiseley, almost resulting in the first goal.
And it was Craig Hobson from start to finish, a beautiful layoff, very, very smooth layoff, and to Wayne Brooksby on the right, and then a run up, and then he got himself right in the box at the other end of the move. Excellent work by Guiseley.
Long clearance from the goalkeeper. Ebley has to watch this one because he's got Jackson right behind him. And Steve Drench, I think he's just saying to the young centre-half, why didn't you just nod it back? Drench is wearing his yellow kit today. He was in pink on the opening day. I don't think he enjoyed that. And he plays it forward, but Guiseley immediately concede a free kick on the halfway line. Just wait for the ball to be returned. It's quite steady away, isn't it, as an opening start? I imagine, actually, I think the heat will probably be quite a factor in this afternoon's game.
Yeah, I think moving the ball around is going to be important today. There's going to be an emphasis on passing. This is Workington's first chance to set up with a free kick just inside their own half, but it's a first chance to set up to try and make something at the Guiseley end.
From the halfway line, long ball forward. Cleared well by a great punch from Steve Drench, and taken down nicely by Brooksby, and Scott playing some nice interplay to win possession back. Then Rothery under pressure. Well battled though by Ross Wilson. He takes the ball off him towards the edge of the area. Has a chance to have a shot at goal with his left foot. Just wide of the right upright. Rothery robbed by Wilson. Good work from the midfielder, and took a rasping shot with the left foot. And it's just wide of the right upright.
Well, Gavin Rothery is under no illusions now. He can't afford to take time on the ball. Ross Wilson is going to press him, and he's a little bit bigger, looks a little bit stronger. What was a bit worrying, really, was after Ross Wilson had won the ball, how easily he got a shot away from the edge of the box there.
There's no cover. Hobson flicks the ball on from the goal kick. Now Workington growing in stature into the game here. Wilson tries to curl the ball centrally, but it's cut out and gone behind for a throw. And it's going to be taken by Kennedy. He's about midway through the Guiseley half now on the right-hand side. Kennedy with options ahead of him. Plays it down towards the corner flag. Cut out nicely by Potts. Potts moves the ball forward, but he's robbed well there by David Lynch. Lynch goes towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Cut out this time by Ebley. Guiseley cover the ball. Move it down the left-hand side with Gavin Rothery. Rothery comes over the halfway line, plays it down towards Wayne Brooksby. Poor ball, goes out of touch.
Well, Guiseley aren't going to have it all their own way, are they? I mean, they're certainly working to look dangerous there on the edge of around the edge of the Guiseley box. Guiseley are going to have to be very careful. There's too much space there.
Well, Workington have a throw. They've got the ball on the right back position inside their own half. About midway through their own half. Launch it long up towards the halfway line. It's cut out and won well by Potts. He plays it forward, looking for Marsh. Marsh heads on. Picked up by Kyle May. May launches it long to Johnny Wright, the captain. And then a loose ball, knocked out into touch. Scott Allison, I think. And Guiseley pick up possession once again on the halfway lines. Played short by the throw from Maynell towards Rothery. Rothery's beaten to it. Ball back with Maynell now. Lofts the ball over the back four. Held off, well, Good show of strength there from Dan Wordsworth, but a good intent there from the ball from Maynell, I thought.
He's held off Craig Hobson well, but he's not going to enjoy being under pressure like that all afternoon.
Maynell now with the ball on the left-hand side, whips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, just a little bit long. Brooksby does well to hold it in play. He's got it now on the right-hand side, running away from goal at the moment. Plays it back to Jack Rea, under pressure. Rea and Potts get the ball forward up towards Marsh. Cut out by David Lynch and out for a Guiseley throw. Halfway through the Workington half now. Played short from Rea to Marsh. Played into the area and then cut out. Well, rather wayward clearance from Stephen Hindmarch. And it's gone behind rather for a needless corner. And this is a chance for Guiseley to get Ellis and Eblay forward.
Yeah, and they're jogging up into the box there. Full-backs going back to the halfway line, as is normal from these set pieces.
0-0 here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Corner comes in from Buxby, finds the head of Ellis. He just can't get the direction on it, flicks it on more than anything else. Back out here to Rothery. Rothery tries to, a little bit of trickery, doesn't get past his man, but it's picked up now by Scott. Scott's ball to Rothery, just too far ahead of him, and it's gone behind for a throw-in. Good movement though. Ellis was in great form, wasn't he, from corners, kicks in the first half of the game on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's something that guys they've missed a little bit from their team since the days of Simon Ainge, who was always very good at attacking the ball from a corner. And Danny Ellis is going to be the one who has to step up and try and make something happen in those situations, I think.
Ellis now more in familiar duty, heading clear. Now a loose head back towards the goalkeeper. Hobson was trying to get on the end of it. Kyle May it was. I just think it was had a little bit too much on the head for Hobson ever to catch that one. Workington have a chance to clear. Jonathan Mitchell, the goalkeeper, launches it long. Headed away by Ellis, picked up by Skelton. Flicked on there by Johnny Wright. Now it finds Scott Allison. Goes back from the touchline. He's under pressure from Jack Rea, but turns him well. Goes down towards the touchline, gets the ball across. Cut out by Danny Ellis. Good defending from Guiseley. And then Workington recover the ball once again. Good vocal support from the visitors this afternoon. Cleared by Jack Rea. And then cut out by Brooksby. And the visitors are certainly showing they've got some intent to attack at Guiseley, haven't they, in these opening periods. Now it's with Johnny Wright. He gets the ball into the area looking for Jackson. Eblay was there first, launches it into the cricket field. And it's going to be a throw-in to Workington.
Yeah, there's a good number of red shirts over there in the terrace under the cover there, over on the clubhouse side of the ground, and they're making themselves heard. I don't know if that's coming through the microphones, but they're very vocal. It's good to see good travelling support on this bank holiday.
Ball launched into the area, looking for the head of Ross Wilson. It bounces over him. Maynell tidies things up. It's only going to go as far as Kennedy, the right back, plays it forward up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed away this time by Potts. Hobson takes a little bit of a late tackle from Hindmarch, but the play continues, and then it goes down the left-hand side. Scott Allison, the left midfielder, checks the ball back to the captain right, and then into Kennedy as they try to work out an opening down the left side, but a little bit heavy is the final ball, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's been a good even start to the game, as you said, Colin. The Workington, I don't think Guiseley have ever been beaten by Workington in the 3 years they've been in the Conference North. But they're certainly not looking like any pushovers now, and first goal could be really interesting in setting the tone for this game now.
Drench with the free kick, the goal kick rather, taking his time over it.
I didn't get booked though.
Got to leave it. We've got to leave it now, Nick.
Actually, I heard before the game from one of the stewards who'd been talking to him that apparently the booking for Stephen Drench on Saturday may have been for dissent rather than for time wasting, which is bit bizarre. It's not something you'd normally imagine of Stephen Drench, but apparently that was the justification given. Or that could have just been the excuse he gave when there was clearly no time being wasted by Stephen Drench at that goal kick. But he decided he was going to put him in the book anyway.
Guys, now have the ball on the right-hand side. Long throw from Jack Rea towards Hobson, or Marsh rather. Cut out. It's gone behind for another throw.
Let's try not to be too controversial though. Sorry, I know that's telling myself there, but Let's not complain about the referee too much. Speaking of which,
guys who've just lost possession after Potts is bundled over, played forward long towards Ebley, who was under pressure from Jackson. Ebley launches it over the clubhouse, and we'll need a new ball because it's gone bouncing over into the cricket field. And Workington have come away with a counter-attack.
One or two Guiseley players Guiseley fans, looking for a free kick there from the challenge on Potts. I thought it was 50-50 myself.
Now Workington have a throw. Play it short to right. Whipped into the area, on the edge of the penalty area, where at the edge of the 6-yard box, where Ebley heads away. Back into that 6-yard box area, headed away by Ellis. Picked up now by Rothery, who lays it back to Maynell. Maynell's clearance takes a deflection. Rothery's down, and there's some question as to whether he's bundled over. Nothing given though. Launched forward this time by Kyle May. Up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed down by Johnny Wright. Guiseley have to clear their lines. This time they do with Ebley. And Ebley gets as far as Brooksby. Brooksby's got the ball, but he's under tremendous pressure. Helps it back to Jack Rea. He launches it up towards Hobson. And then just a little nudge on Hobson from Stephen Hindmarch, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley. And the referee doesn't want them to take it too quickly. And pulls play back. So once again, we'll see the play held up for a moment or two here. Guiseley 0, Workington 0. 11 minutes gone, and we're bringing you this game live. Exclusive commentary from Guiseley AFC Radio this afternoon. Steve Drench returns the ball into the Workington half. Watched well by Skelton. Under pressure from Marsh, has to force the ball out. And there's more balls on the cricket field than we'll know what to do with. There's about 3 or 4 that's gone over that way. And we'll be running out of balls soon, but it's going to be a throw into Guiseley, about level with the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Jack Rea takes it short, lays it back to Danny Ellis. He hoists the ball into the penalty area. Easily headed clear. Now a chance for a counter-attack. Wilson chases the ball, but he can't get on the end of that one. Maynell takes the throw quickly, plays it into Gavin Rothery. Rothery lifts the ball towards the penalty area, but it's cut out, and now Workington just clear their lines, only up to the halfway line, where Scott tries to play it through Hindmarch, but Hindmarch is too canny for that. It bounces back. Maynell has a chance to try and carve out something down the left-hand side this time. And Guiseley win a throw. A bit dubious because it seemed to bounce off Marsh last. And this time they get the second throw after Rothery is cut out by David Lynch. Maynell with the short one to Scott. Maynell plays it square. Cut out by Johnny Wright. Wright shows a cool foot and plays it back, and then the ball immediately sent long, looking for Jackson. Ellis intervenes and heads it back to the goalkeeper.
It's been breathless stuff, hasn't it, Colin, so far? I think the reason the ball's aren't coming back, by the way, is people will be sorry to hear there's no cricket happening on the cricket pitch. There is football happening over there. There's plenty of footballs on the pitch, but there's no cricket over there today on a bank holiday Monday, which is sad to see.
Hobson has the ball. He's played it into Potts. Potts, who had such a good game on Saturday, plays it to Scott, and Scott's just played a really loose ball here to Wilson. Wilson down the right-hand side. Nutmeg Scott, goes forward towards the edge of the area, plays it square towards Johnny Wright, and then it lounges back, and a good shot there from David Lynch from distance. Can't get through the array of white shirts that are ahead of him. Kennedy launches one long into the area, and that is loose, and that's going to be picked up by Drench.
And we said before the game, didn't we? It's a big game for Jake Scott today. He only lasted 45 minutes in his first home game here, playing alongside Michael Potts, who's not an experienced player himself. It's going to be terribly important that he starts getting some passes to Guiseley feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And to be fair, actually, I think there's a few loose balls from both teams.
Yeah.
In this opening period. It's not the example of top quality football, I think, at the moment that we've been used to with some of the sides down here. It's got time to settle yet, though. It's frenetic stuff at the moment, and now Workington come forward once again. Hindmarch tries to play the ball out wide. He's got the option of the overlapping Skelton, but he won't be able to get there before Jack Rea. Rea blasts it off Skelton and earns the throw.
Yeah, it's all good blood and thunder stuff, if that's a real saying, but not a little bit short on quality so far.
Rea in his own right back position, deep inside the Guiseley half, plays a throw long. It's won by Allison. Ria wins the second ball, launches it long towards Marsh, sorry. And then it's headed back. Now Workington start up another attack, this time Hindmarch into Allison. Hindmarch goes looking for the return ball but can't get on the end of it. Won this time by David Lynch, still inside the Guiseley half, launched towards the edge of the 18-yard box but cut out this time by Scott. Good work here from Wilson again. He's got 2 players on him, takes it through the legs of Rothery, tries to turn again and earns a throw-in when it comes off Rothery's feet. Looking like a handful is Wilson.
Looks very strong, doesn't he?
Guiseley now have to launch a counter-attack themselves. Potts has won possession now, comes over the halfway line, plays it square here to Brooksby. Brooksby's got 3 red shirts ahead of him, goes through one, bundled over. Referee, I think, will go straight to the book here. And it was late. Brooksby's down on the ground. And that was a very heavy challenge there from Gavin Skelton on Wayne Brooksby. And he does indeed pick out the yellow card, the official Glenn Hart, the first booking of the game. Did well, did Brooksby, didn't he, to get past his man in the first place?
Yeah, he needed a challenge to bring him down. Maybe a little bit cynical, halting the break of Brooksby there on the edge of the box. But I think he probably needed to take one for the team there because it was a dangerous position.
Oh, good work there by Wayne Brooksby. It means that Guiseley have a free kick inside the Workington half, back midway through, but they've got players on the edge of the 18-yard box. Whipped in here. Maynell's cross is poor. It's short. And it's cleared now of Workington to launch a counter-attack of their own. To be fair, that's a poor ball forward from them, and it's cleared well by Steve Drench. Picked up, though, by Dominic Kennedy. Nice 1-2 now here between Kennedy and Wright. Kennedy comes down the right-hand side, plays the ball into the penalty area. Up goes Drench, clutches that one. Unfortunately, the end product from Workington hasn't been that threatening, but they've managed to move the ball into dangerous areas in these opening 17 minutes.
Yeah, saw as well that straight away Stephen Drench's distribution there turned the ball over straight out of his hands, looking for Phil Marsh at the other end of the pitch. Didn't quite come off, but they'll be looking for opportunities to find Workington defenders napping there.
Cleared this time by Danny Ellis, launches it long, taken down by Workington, and it's at the feet of Kennedy at the moment. Dan Wordsworth, the centre half, just playing the ball around, looking to carve out a new attacking movement. This time it's up towards the head of Wilson. Wilson wins the header under heavy challenge from Maynell, and then Ebley launches it out into touch, and I think it's a throw-in to Workington. I'm not quite sure where we are, whether it went over for a corner, but the referee hasn't indicated the corner, so I think it's a throw-in. About level with the right down there in the right left-hand corner flag as the Workington players attack the Guiseley goal. It's going to be Kennedy. He'll try and launch this one into the penalty area. 4 red shirts in there. 2 or 3 on the edge of the 18-yard box, looking for any scraps that might come. It's played short into the feet of Wright by Kennedy. Kennedy gets it back under pressure from Rothery. Gets it into the area. Ebley clears, not convincingly. And then along comes Wordsworth, and his clearance knocks it out into touch for a Guiseley throw.
Phil Marsh closing down well there, doing a lot of hard work at the moment. He's keeping Wordsworth in particular on his toes at the moment, making him stay switched on. And we saw on Saturday that might start to tire out 1 or 2 of the defenders, and on Tuesday in Gainsborough. Might open up some gaps later in the game if he carries on that good work he's doing.
Meanwhile, Ebley's just launched a ball straight into Workington man, and they can come down the left-hand side once again. This time, Skelton tries to get the cross in there, deflects off, I think it was Jack Rea, and it's gone behind for another Workington corner. This time, played short. Skelton whips it in towards the area where there's a good head from Wright, and he has it cleared off the line by Scott, and then the next shot comes in, and that's dealt with comfortably by Steve Drench. Guiseley just have to be alive to the threat. This team now launched clear towards Rothery on the counter-attack now as Guiseley come forward, and then the full-back Dominic Kennedy, who went to deal with Rothery, Well, he just stood in front of him, and I don't think he had any chance of getting out of the way. Free kick given.
No, Gavin Rothery's turned him inside out there, hasn't he? It was a fantastic kick again by Drench for Rothery to run onto out in the left channel here, and he's just knocked it past the right back and turned him inside out.
Rothery has the ball now on the edge of the 18-yard box, whips it in towards the back post where Eblay's waiting, heads it back across goal. Nobody there, then in for Marsh, takes a shot. Very difficult angle. Marsh couldn't get over it, and it's just gone over the crossbar.
Oh, it's so frustrating as a striker. It was always rising. He couldn't get his foot over it, and it was really struggling to keep it down.
Yeah, good work there, though. A great ball in from Rothery, and good work from Eblay to come ghosting in at the back post there, forward, and he had himself in oceans of space, didn't he?
Yeah, we haven't seen a huge amount of him in the opposition box yet. Not surprisingly, he's a centre half, but it looks like he knows what he's doing when he gets up there.
Clearance by Mitchell from the goal kick. Makes a great amount of headway. Cut out eventually by Jack Rea on the edge of his own 18-yard box, but the ball forward is loose once again. Cut out by Skelton. Played towards Kennedy. Kennedy helps it on towards Wright. Wright heads it down, then gets the ball back from Johnson, gets the ball across the face of the goal. No threat there. Steve Drench was in the right place at the right time.
No, but guys, they've got to be wary of trying to force the issue. They want to be trying to find passes, get into a bit of a rhythm. They're just trying a little bit too hard to thread through these little balls, and it's going to get them a little bit frustrated. One or two of the crowd a bit frustrated who've only seen the game last Saturday so far. They don't know how well the boys have played in the week. So guys, they've got to keep cool heads here.
Now good movement again from Workington. Allison with some attacking intent. It has to be cut out by Danny Ellis, and now it's a throw-in on the left-hand side that Gavin Skelton will take about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. He's going to launch this one into the penalty area, I suspect. No, he's going to go short now. He takes a rethink. Eventually the ball does come in, and it's picked up by Jackson. Jackson twists past one man in the penalty area, deflects off Scott. Drench can't keep it in, and it's gone behind for another corner. Workington getting a lot out of this Guiseley defence at the moment in terms of corners.
Yeah, and the question is, can they turn one of these chances into a real serious test on Drench's goal?
Skelton takes the ball into the area, flicked on by Hobson in defensive duties at the moment. He knocks it away, and it's out into touch for another throw. Listening to Guiseley AFC radio. If you've got any comments, do keep them coming through to us. We've got a message board post on the Guiseley forum, and also, of course, you can tweet us or message us on the YouTube site.
Yeah, we're on different equipment, aren't we, today? We've said goodbye to the USB dictaphones, hopefully forever, and no hands-free kits, actual microphones here today.
Here on loan.
Yeah, so we'll see how these are working, see if you can get a better idea of what we might be able to bring you. As we've said before, we can't do anything about the quality of the commentary, but we can do one or two things with the audio, hopefully.
Workington have the throw. Laid down the left-hand side, picked up here by Jackson. Jackson tries to go past his man. Danny Ellis cuts it out, plays it up to Phil Marsh. Marsh immediately surrounded by three players, does well to play it back. Finds Hobson now from Potts, and then goes to take the return ball. Marsh runs at the defence. It's bundled over. Nothing given from the referee. Bounces into Hobson. Much controversy over that one. And then a long ball clearance from Workington. And there, number 10, Joseph Jackson, is offside. And a free kick, but that could have gone both ways, to be honest, for me.
I can only assume that he's not given it because Marsh had knocked the ball a little bit further ahead of himself, but he was definitely brought down.
Guys, have the free kick anyway, but it's in their own half, about level on the edge of the centre circle. Steve Drench takes it, picks out Wayne Brooksby on the right-hand side, played into Jack Rea. Rea's ball's a little bit loose. Scott tidies up nicely, tries to find Wayne Brooksby, but can't get it past his man. Into the feet of Jackson, and Jackson earns his side a throw. And Guiseley have let that attacking momentum disappear. Still 0-0 here on Guiseley AFC radio, and it's 24 minutes gone. And Workington and Guiseley haven't really crafted out a real notable goal scoring opportunity as yet. Phil Marsh perhaps the best for Guiseley with a shot that was blasted over the bar. And Workington, well, they've tested the Guiseley defence a little bit with a few balls in the area, and there was that header, I think it was from right, wasn't it, that was cleared ostensibly off the line by Jake Scott. But
yeah, there's been a few edge of the box skirmishes, but both teams managing to keep each other's strikers almost at arm's length really at the moment, so nothing opened yet for either team.
Drench now has a free kick inside his own half. He plays it long, flicked on by Marsh. Nobody's getting on the end of that, but Skelton still chooses to play it safe and launch it out into touch. Another ball in the cricket field. I think Adi Towers is off to collect that one this time. Keep him fit. Guiseley have the throw on the edge of the 18-yard box on the right-hand side. Played into Jack Rea. Rea gets the ball across the edge of the 6-yard box. Hobson went up to try and connect to it, just a little bit too high for him. It's gone out of touch on the opposite side for a throw to Workington.
And this is what we're saying, isn't it, guys? They've got to keep their heads here. They've got to stay calm, stop trying to force the issue, wait for the opportunities to come. They do look bright going forward. But if they're just trying to squeeze those balls there that aren't quite on, then they're going to find themselves frustrated.
Throw in, taken short, picked up now by Hobson. Hobson goes to ground, earns a free kick, I think, off Hindmarsh, yeah?
Yeah, I think that was less of a free kick than the Phil Marsh one was, but...
Rothery now steps over it. The centre halves come forward. Eblay and Ellis. Looks like it's going to be whipped in towards the edge of this D, where they're all waiting for it. Rothery plays it to exactly the spot we were thinking of. Hobson can't get on the end of it. It's headed clear. Potts makes a manful effort to try and win it back, but Workington do retain possession and now move quickly into the opposite half. And it's a good ball forward towards Wilson. Wilson gets it behind his feet, but it's picked up once again here by Lynch. Lynch lays it back into Kennedy. Kennedy on the right-hand side plays it forward towards Wilson. Wilson back here to Lynch. And then Lynch with his left foot launches it into the penalty area. Never going to be better than Stephen Drench with that sort of delivery. And it's easily clutched by the Guiseley goalkeeper. Eblay takes the ball from the goalkeeper's throw out. Still the ball inside the Guiseley half. Launched long, up here towards Marsh. Marsh can't get past his man. And very coolly turned by Dominic Kennedy, and Kennedy plays it launch, looking for Joseph Jackson. Jackson and Eblay on a battle down the left-hand side, and, well, Eblay's made a rather clumsy tackle, really. Didn't connect with the ball, and Jackson's gone over him, and it's a free kick to Workington in quite a dangerous position.
Yeah, a little bit of a scruffy challenge, that, wasn't it? It was all arms and legs, Jamil Eblay. He's a long-limbed, slightly awkward-looking player when he goes in for a challenge like that, and I can understand why the referee gave it.
So it's just up from the corners on the left-hand side as Guiseley defend this goal. And it's going to be a dangerous one. There's plenty of red shirts in the area. Whipped in towards the back post, headed towards the goal by Skelton, I think it was. Well held by Steve Drench. And it was straight at him, so he would have wanted to have clutched that, really. But just another unnecessary threat. Now Guiseley can perhaps carve out some opportunity of their own. Hobson tries to play it out to the left here, where Rhys Maynell's made a good overlapping run. Good pass from Hobson. Maynell tries to get the ball in the penalty area, but earns a corner kick. Good movement there from both Hobson and Maynell to carve out the opportunity at the other end.
Yeah, and the pitch just opened up, didn't it, when they switched from right over to Rhys Maynell on the left. Acres and acres of space, and he's done well to get the rebound off the defender, get the corner. But Guiseley are giving away too many chances at the other end, Colin. And they've all been straight into Drench's hands so far. But
corner comes in, headed away this time from the centre half as the target man, Jamil Eblay, couldn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, sorry, not Drenchy, Drench. we're going for non-biased commentary, aren't we? Come on. Again, I'm talking to myself.
I wouldn't say that. You've got to remember these things, Nick, that you say out loud and things you think.
It's never been my speciality, I'm afraid.
Rhys Maynell now has the throw for the Lions on the left-hand side. On the edge of the area is Phil Marsh. He goes into the penalty area. He's got a man right on top of him. He's earned the corner, though. Tackle from Kennedy. Guiseley just turning the screw a little bit themselves.
Guiseley's turn to have a bit of pressure. Now falls to see if they can actually get a shot on goal here. Test the keeper, Mitchell.
29 minutes gone. You're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio, and it's Wayne Brooksby who has a corner. 0-0 here at Nethermore between Guiseley and Workington. Brooksby with the corner now on the left-hand side. Whips the ball in, flicked on by Phil Marsh. Just couldn't direct the header. It did well to carve out the space for himself. He'll be disappointed that he didn't hit the target, I would have thought.
Came across him very quickly, difficult to control, but he will be frustrated that he's not managed to get that one on target, definitely.
So it's going to be a goal kick to Workington as we head to the half-hour mark. It's been half hour. Fairly even Steven stuff, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's been an interesting game so far. A little bit of a tactical battle at the moment, as we said. Not many too clear-cut chances.
Long ball forward, flicked away by Danny Ellis. A good header, finds Hobson. Hobson goes into the half and then earns a free kick. It's a bit of a clumsy tackle on Hobson. No malice in it, but Kyle May seems to have come off the worst for it.
He's a big lad, is Craig Hobson, and we've seen this once or twice already this season, is when people get into a challenge with him, even if they've initiated the challenge, they can sometimes come off worse off, can't they?
He had a good game on Saturday and a cracking goal. His second goal was a really good header. Ellis takes the free kick just inside his own, inside the Workington half. Finds Maynell. Maynell has options ahead of him. Plays it up towards Marsh. A great ball. Good header from Phil Marsh. Just wide of the left upright. I think it must have taken a deflection or a save from Jonathan Mitchell. It's gone behind for a corner. But what a good ball and a good header from Marsh.
Oh, that was agonising, wasn't it? Time seemed to go in slow motion there as the ball. We were waiting to see whether it would go into the corner of the goal or just past the post. And I guess if it's caught a deflection, that explains why it was going so slowly.
Brooksby with the corner, whips it up towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away this time, only as far as Rothery. Rothery on the edge of the area, gets it back in there, finds Marsh, but he's beaten it to it this time by May. It's out wide again. Rothery collects the ball once again, but right down on the touchline, under tremendous pressure. Scott wins the ball back, and then it's gone behind for, this time it's going to be a Workington throw. And the momentum's gone from that movement, but the last few minutes, guys, have had the chances actually possibly to have got in front here.
It's a good period of pressure, and this is what we were saying just before kick-off, is that Phil Marsh has worked ever so hard and he's getting himself in the positions. You just want to see him get one or two of those for his confidence, start to get something back for the effort he's putting in there up front.
Just to look back at the quality of ball in there as well, though, it was an excellent ball from Rhys Maynell.
Yeah.
Curler from the left foot. And Marsh connected it really well, didn't he, with his head?
And that was something that was definitely missing when we were here on the first day of the season. We didn't see Rhys Maynell get forward at all from the left-back position. Andy Holdsworth was playing on the right that day. We didn't see him forward at all. But we have seen some crosses into the box from open play today, and that's a big improvement.
Yeah, it's back to the 4-2-3-1. Not the sort of narrow diamond shape that we played on the opening day. Free kick, meanwhile, to Workington on the halfway line, though. So they're going to launch this one long. The players are already lining up on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's played up towards that space, flicked on by Ebley, tidied up nicely by Maynell into the feet of Brooksby. Brooksby plays it now to Scott. Scott has options ahead of him, plays a good long ball up towards where Phil Marsh. Marsh does really well, gets past Wordsworth for pace, goes down towards the touchline. He's got to try and beat Wordsworth now. He's caught him up, plays it back here to Potts. And then back from Marsh into the feet of Maynell. Maynell tries to chip it past Wilson, but Wilson, in fine form this afternoon, wins the ball back, and then a really poor ball forward from David Lynch, all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Maybe that's why they've been trying to force one or two of these passes through, is because Phil Marsh is a lot quicker than Dan Wordsworth, who he's up against here.
Yeah, it was a real mismatch, wasn't it, in terms of pace?
Yeah.
Long ball forward, picked up by Rhys Maynell inside his own half, plays it into Brooksby. Brooksby tries to turn past Lynch. Lynch pressurises him well, but Brooksby does hold on to it and plays it out wide here to Jack Greer. Jack Greer tries to run down the right-hand side. He's beaten to it, though, by Scott Allison. And in the end, just is a little bit too physical with Allison. And the ball's gone behind. Or going to be a bit, the referee's given a free kick to Workington.
Right idea, though, by Guiseley. Excellent recovery by Wayne Brooksby after the first clip of his ankles. And Jack Ray looking to get forward on the right, just as we've been talking about Rhys Maynell from left-back. Jack Ray at right-back today, looking to get himself down there in a position to put a cross into the box. And it's not come off this time, but they'll be pleased to see him up there.
Clearance from Mitchell, right into the Guiseley half. Picked up again by Trench. Trench plays it immediately in towards the direction of Brooksby. That was easy for Kennedy to head. And then it goes up into the Guiseley half once again. And all the way back in the end to Jonathan Mitchell in the Workington goal. And it's still goalless. You're listening to us on Guiseley AFC radio. We're bringing you live coverage of this afternoon's Skrill Conference North game between Guiseley and Workington. And it's Been fairly entertaining so far, and the Lions move forward once again, looking to see if they can get the opening goal. Back here to Rhea. Rhea gets the ball into the area, tried to be flicked on by Potts. Potts just always moving backwards to get his head on the ball, and in the end it's gone behind rather harmlessly for a goal kick.
Another good cross coming in, though, this time from Jack Rhea on the right, who did get forward, did manage to get the ball into the box. Good work into play with Wayne Brooksby again. Just the final piece in the puzzle is getting the shot on target, and that's what Guiseley haven't managed to do. Workington have had shots on goal, haven't they? But Guiseley, so far, struggled to test the keeper.
And it's the goalkeeper, Jonathan Mitchell, who'll take this goal kick. A long one forward. Ebley watches it, gets a header on it. Might have conceded a rather poor corner. I think it's gone behind just for a throw-in. But just for a moment, the long, rather aimless clearance from the goalkeeper looked like it might have earned the visitors a corner kick. Throw-in it is, though. Just up literally 2 yards from the corner flag on that right-hand side. And in the end, they've lost possession. Ross Wilson isn't too happy with it, and it's a goal kick for Guiseley.
I think he found the throw-in come in a little bit too hot, and it sort of bounced off him, didn't it, under a bit of pressure from a Guiseley player.
So, we start again, and it's Steve Drench. Stephen Drench who'll try and clear, and it's a poor one this time. He's hit touch. It's on the halfway line, and he holds his hands up in apology. And Workington have a throw on the halfway line on the right-hand side. Kennedy forward up towards right, can't get there. Play down to Jackson now. Jackson tries to get a shot away from distance. Well watched by Stephen Drench. It was a good firm drive from distance, and it was low, but it was always just going wide of the upright.
That's one of those shots where, from where we're sat, we're hoping that Stephen Drench has got his angles right, because he's running across with it and watching it, but it looks to all the world like it could be going into the bottom corner, and it whistles past the post. Well covered.
Drench with the goal kick. A long one up into the head of Hobson. He flicks it on, looking for Marsh, gets the ball back. Not sure what Hobson was trying with there. If it was a shot or a pass, either way, his left boot has just landed the football almost by the corner flag.
Are we ready for our first Hobson's choice joke of the season, or is it too soon?
If it's our first, I hope it's our last as well.
Okay, we'll leave that there. We'll just park that. Suitably chastised.
Long ball forward. This is the quality you get here on Guiseley AFC radio. It's Workington who come forward now, and they're cut out well by the Lions, who work hard, and they get the ball up to the halfway line. But well won back by Workington, and this time tried to launch the ball down the right-hand side, and Wright gets into the area, takes a speculative drive towards goal, and it's high and wide. No,
it was one for Matt Rogerson, that who I know is listening on the coverage today, and he was the one when we signed Craig Hobson. He sent me a text saying, "Look, you've not mentioned this. You've not mentioned Hobson's choice. That should have been the headline." So that's for you, Matt. That's all of that dead air there. That was all for you.
Goal kick to Guiseley. I'm not sure how we can follow that one up.
I don't think we should try.
Intriguing game so far. Football here at Nethermore. 38 minutes gone. Goalless. Fairly even Stevens in terms of chances, but not many direct chances on goal that's really threatened either goalkeeper. Phil Marsh perhaps came closest with his header that had to be tipped away by the Workington goalkeeper. Excellent save by the goalkeeper after a great ball in from Rhys Maynell. Now Guiseley have the ball in the halfway line. Rothery now into Hobson. Still just in that midfield area. Potts picks up, turns well, plays it out towards Rothery, but it's cut out well. And now Wilson, the right winger, gets the ball back, tries to run at the Guiseley, but a defender, and a really firm tackle from Jamil Ebley, but Wilson is tenacious, keeps battling away. And in the end, it's Danny Ellis who has to clear the lines.
Come on, guys.
And it'll be a throw into Workington now as it goes out into touch inside their half from about right back position.
Good fighting by both teams there, wasn't it? No lack of commitment there in the defending. Good, strong challenge from Jamil Ebley.
So Kennedy takes the throw, flicked up to Potts, launched forward by Wright, and then taken down here by Kennedy. Kennedy plays it in, and then really good work here from Potts. Potts and Hobson's getting in each other's way, but managed to work it out quickly. Gives it to Rothery. Rothery down the left-hand side, plays a nice ball in towards Hobson. Hobson gets it across the face of goal. A cross-come shot, I think, just floated away from the goal and the goalkeeper and out behind for a goal kick.
You'd have done anything to swap the players around, wouldn't you? You'd have loved to see Craig Hobson steaming in the box to get on the end of that cross, but good chance carved out nonetheless.
And it's another encouraging moment again for Guiseley, isn't it? Because they've had a few chances where they've managed to work the channels well and get some crosses in there. On a couple of occasions, though, it's just been the wrong players who seem to have been putting the ball into the area, just as you say.
And this is what we're saying. This is a new team. The team have got to be patient. They've got to stick at it. It's not all going to come off at the first attempt.
Flicked on as Workington start another attack forward. This time a really long high ball from Lynch. It's picked out of the air by Steve Drench. And Drench is going to look to launch it forward once again, up towards Marsh. Marsh looking for the scraps, but it's headed away by Kyle May. Picked up by Lynch. Lynch launches it into touch. Guiseley have the throw. Picked up now by Jack Rea. Danny Ellis with a firm tackle under pressure. Retains possession. And then plays it to Potts, and Potts helps it on to the left here where Maynell can have a run at this Workington back line. Opts to check and give it to Rothery. Rothery central, lays it square to Scott. Scott into Potts. Potts moves forwards about 25 yards from goal, tries to lay it into Hobson, but he's cut out, and then well won back again by Wordsworth, who lays it forward to Skelton. Skelton comes over the halfway line as Workington look to counter. Plays it out wide, cut out by Jack Rea, and it's going to be another Workington throw.
Got to be careful because we're sat here amongst them, but I think one or two of the crowd need to give the team a little bit more chance. I don't think this is a bad Guiseley performance by any means at the moment, and I've said it a few times now, but I think patience is the order of the day.
Bit of encouragement. Never goes amiss. Drench lofts the ball up towards Hobson. Hobson flicks it on. Marsh trying to get on the behind of it. Can't do so. Cleared by Kennedy. Taken down by Ellis. Ellis lofts it up towards Rothery. Rothery isn't going to get on the end of that. It's gone behind, out into touch. And it's going to be another throw to Workington.
Well, we said early on that the Workington fans were very vocal over there, and I just think it would be a shame if the only time the Guiseley players heard their own fans in this first half would be sort of getting on their back when a pass or a move doesn't quite come off.
Rea has the ball. The right back comes over the halfway line. Guiseley trying to go forward now with Hobson. Good 1-2 between him and Potts. Potts gets pulled back. Free kick given. And this is going to be about 30, 35 yards from goal. Scott takes it quickly. Plays a really good ball. Picks out Rothery on the edge of the area. Rothery's got a man in front of him, Wordsworth. Almost beats himself. Lays it back to Maynell. Maynell lofts it in towards the back post where Hobson's waiting. Hobson's too physical with Skelton. And referees decided to call that a free kick. And it's going to be a Workington free kick after what was a promising move.
Yeah, another good cross into the box. This time Craig Hobson was there, which is where you want to see him. Got to be careful he doesn't give away soft free kicks there. I'm not sure if there was a foul, but he's one of those players, like we've said, that will get free kicks given against him if he leaves an elbow out or puts a hand on the back or something like that.
The free kick is taken by the goalkeeper, Mitchell. Launched up towards Ellis. Ellis lays it square, and then a really heavy tackle on Wayne Brooksby, who comes forward. This time on Kyle May, so I think May might be the second Workington player to go in a book. Once again, the running of Brooksby just causing trouble when he can actually get on the ball and get some momentum going.
He's so good, isn't he, running with the ball at his feet. He's so quick, a lot quicker than any of the defenders that we've seen him up against so far today.
So Guiseley now will start with a free kick just before the break. 44 minutes gone here. Scott with a short free kick into Jack Rea and square. We're desperate to get the ball into the area, but we're just holding the ball on the halfway line. Reece Maynell lofts it up towards the edge of that 18-yard box where Hobson's waiting. And then, well, I don't agree with that. Hobson's been pulled up for a push, but it didn't look to be anything in there.
And that's exactly what we've just said, isn't it? He's going up for a header. In fact, I don't think he was even off the floor. I think his arms were where they needed to be. I don't think there was a foul. But the defender's given a yelp and the referee's given the free kick.
Great frustration here. We'll just wait to see how much time is going to be added. Launched forward. Taken down now by Kennedy. Workington on the attack now for the last moments of this match. Picked out by Maynell, only as far as Kennedy again. The right back launches it in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Ellis watches it really well. A super header from Ellis. Finds Brooksby. Brooksby tries to run at the defenders again. This time goes down under a challenge of Allison, but there's no foul on this occasion. Potts watches it very well though, and Workington win it back this time with that man Wilson. Wilson goes forward, tackled really well by Ellis, who takes a knock to the head at the same time, but Guiseley have the counter-attack on. Launched forward here. Kyle May has to make sure this ball goes back to the goalkeeper under pressure from Phil Marsh. Mitchell lofts it clear, and that's the half-time whistle. And an intriguing 45 minutes. It's not been a pulsating match, but it's been fairly entertaining. Both sides have had half chances. It's difficult to pick out a clear-cut chance better than the one that Phil Marsh had after getting on the end of the corner, the cross from Reece Maynell. A good header that was tipped wide by goalkeeper Jonathan Mitchell. Other than that, it's been fairly harum-scarum stuff, and at half-time, it's Guiseley 0, Workington 0.
Chris Holland coming out onto the pitch here, and you can only imagine he's seen what we've seen. This game is threatening to kick into life at any moment, and there's no lack of commitment on the side of the Guiseley players, but they do need to be a little bit more patient. They need to keep getting into these good positions, and sooner or later you've got to think one of these chances will come off, but they don't need to change their game plan particularly. I don't think they're trying all the right ideas at the moment.
Well, that's it. That's half-time. That's at the break, and we'll be on air all the way through this. All the way through this break, I think, is the intention. Obviously,
yeah. Well, I guess
we had a few recruits that we were hoping to cover for us this afternoon, I must admit, who aren't here. But that's a different kettle of fish.
Well, it makes it a good time to say hi to Mickey, who's just tweeted to say he's listening to us. And hi, Mickey. Your seat's nice and warm. We would have had you sat on it if you'd been here. So we'll see what we can come up with. We've got Tom Feaheny on the bench along here from us, who's been doing the tweeting and so on. So we'll see if we can get him involved. Maybe stick the microphone underneath one or two people's noses. I think you're off to do a radio bit, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right, and in fact I've just missed my call for that. This is all professional, highly attuned stuff. Let's just get back to the game now, just for a moment here. We'll try and get some half-time scores going as well for you, so if you are just tuning in, we'll try and get some good scores around from the grounds and keep you up to speed. With the scores at the half-time, though, we'll hand you over now to the capable hands of Tom Feaheny. And he'll give you his thoughts on the half-time and also keep you up to speed with the games and the goals that have been going in.
Well, yeah, at half-time it is Guiseley 0, Workington 0, and, well, a half in which Phil Marsh could have got a hat-trick on another day. Today, it's 0-0. Phil Marsh, a fantastic header, I've got to say, going into the top corner, and Workington's keeper, you've got to give him credit. Fantastic save, pushes it out for a corner. On another day, that would have gone in. Just got to say, Workington, at the moment, they're only on a point, and some people will be looking at that and thinking, 3 games in, only a draw. But they've been really unlucky in 2 of them games. Really could have got a win. Again, they got a point, and really should have got a point against Vauxhall Motors, just based on their second-half performance on Saturday. Well, for Guiseley, then, after the 2-2 draw against Colwyn Bay on Saturday, now, Steve Kittrick and all the boys, they'll be hoping that they can get 3 points out of today's game. Currently 0-0. It'll be interesting to see whether Guiseley bring anyone off the bench. Of course, the likes of Adam Priestley, James Burgess, can they come off the bench and make a difference? Hobson and Marsh up front, they've been offering a little bit of something different. Plenty of work rate, especially from Marsh, who, like I've said, with the 3 main chances for Guiseley, Nick, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think you're right, Tom. I think Guiseley are doing a lot right. They've given away too many half chances at the back, and they'll want to tighten up on that a little bit. But every chance that has gone down there, Steve Drench has had 2 hands and his body behind the ball. He hasn't been at full stretch at any point just yet. And as you say, there are some options on the bench as well, aren't there? So it'd be interesting to see at what point, if it stays 0-0, he'll take off one of the experienced strikers, Steve Kittrick, and bring on a Burgess or a Priestley. Adam Priestley, I thought, looked very bright at Colwyn Bay on Saturday when he came on. He was given a really tough job of leading the line by himself after Hobson had been sent off. He was brought on for Marsh, who had run himself into the ground a little bit. And he still managed to put in a really good shift in the time that he had left in that game. Neither Burgess nor Priestley has scored in the season properly yet, though. So it's a little bit of a gamble bringing on one of these less experienced players on for Hobson and Marsh, who are playing well. But if it stays 0-0, you think he's going to have to roll the dice at some point. He's also got the option that he didn't have in the first part of the season of Jake Lawler on the bench now, who was absent for the first game of the season and will be looking to fight his way into a midfield slot, especially with Andy Holdsworth. I think had a stomach bug. We understand he's lost a little bit of weight, and it'll be a little bit of time before he's back on solid food, I think, and fully fit again. So Jake Lawler's got an opportunity there if Jake Scott or Michael Potts is taken off in the second half. He's got a chance to come in. And then, of course, we've got Spencer Harris, who we saw just for the very last couple of minutes of injury time on Saturday, former Huddersfield Academy captain, and has then had some time in Australia. So he's had his international clearance to come and play now. Central midfielder, we saw him as on trial, but we know he played at centre half for Huddersfield as well previously. So it'll be interesting. Again, not sure what position he's been brought in. I would imagine, looking at the makeup of the bench, that they've got their eye on him as a centre back today. But another one who will be looking to take the opportunity to force his way into this team.
Well, of course, 3 games in. Now let's have a look at some of the other scores from today's games. And, well, let's hope that Guiseley can get a few results in their favour. Although we are so early on into the season, maybe it doesn't matter. But interesting to see Stockport drawing 0-0 at half-time with Colwyn Bay. Stockport, of course, were touted to be one of the favourites to win this league. It hasn't really gone that way for them so far. Some disappointing performances. I heard their manager criticise their work rate after quite a disappointing result against Altrincham, 3-0. Former Guiseley striker James Walshaw with one of the goals there. What are your thoughts on Stockport? Do you think they will push on and maybe get into that top 6?
It's a fascinating position, isn't it, for a club that's, on the face of it, too big for the division. And we've seen one or two of those clubs in this division over the last few years. We've seen one or two of them come and go. One or two of them are still around, the people that have been up playing league football. And the task is going to be for the managers at the likes of Stockport, Telford, as it was at Halifax for the last couple of seasons, is making sure you've got 11 men out there who are motivated to play for this team in this division now. I don't imagine they're going to have a huge amount of patience from their fans. Their fans will have been expecting a positive start to the season, you'd imagine. So they've got a lot of work to do there. I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But there are good teams in this league this year. Altrincham, as you mentioned, being another one of them. James Walshaw's an excellent signing, I think, for them. He's got proven pedigree in this division, scoring goals over many years now. And they've got one or two other familiar players to Guiseley fans there as well. It means they should have a good team. I think they are 1-1 away at Vauxhall Motors at half-time. And that'll be a game that they'll be expecting to win. I think they were 1-0 up in that, and Vauxhall Motors have equalised from a penalty just on the stroke of half-time there in added time at the end of the first half. But Altrincham are another team that I would expect are going to be very, very tough, particularly when we go to their ground, big ground there, and they can get a good number of fans in. And if they're on a roll, that's going to be a tough ground for Guiseley to go to this season, definitely.
In terms of Guiseley, though, after the fantastic start last season, where it was, 7 games, 7 wins, and then maybe just hit a little bit of a damp patch, a few things didn't work out, and Guiseley in the end, 2nd place. Do you think this season it might be a case of maybe aiming for 5th or 6th, getting into the playoffs late, not being in a place where you're second, maybe stagnate? Some of the players didn't, in the end, look really up for the Halifax game. Maybe it could work out for Guiseley in the end.
Yeah, I think they'll be aiming for 5th rather than 6th, so they can get in the playoffs. But I think you can look at it lots of different ways. We finished 2nd last year, and that's the 2nd time that Guiseley have done that and then not managed to convert it in the playoffs. So naturally there's 1 or 2 people saying maybe the other way to come at it is to not have run yourselves into the ground so early on in the season. We're already hearing talk that perhaps the West Riding County Cup will not be a full-strength first team competition for us this year. Maybe keep something in the players' legs for the last few games of the season. But before the game, we were talking about momentum, and we've had a loss, a win, and then a draw in our first 3 games this season. And so there's a thought really that however it goes today could decide which one of those is going to be the way the first part of this season shapes up. A defeat today could make it look gloomy. A draw today could make it look quite frustrating. But if we were to get a win today, then you'd be looking at 2 wins and a draw in a week, and that's a good bit of early momentum in the season that you would think they could carry on as the fixtures start to spread out. We start to lose our midweek fixtures now. We start to go to just Saturdays, which we've heard all sorts of complaints about in the past. Why aren't we playing some Tuesday fixtures when the weather's nice, when the sun's out, and nice warm kind of late summer, early autumn evenings? Why aren't we getting some games in during the weeks on that, and instead saving them up for when the winter starts setting in and we start losing some of our fixtures around December, January, February? But now that this first flurry of fixtures will be out of the way after another 45 minutes, that might be what sets the tone for the next few games. Just looking at 1 or 2 other more half times here, Tom.
Go on, Nick.
They're coming in now on the football conference. Football conference have got a new website that seems to be much improved over the old one. And there we are, Guiseley 0, Workington 0 at half time. No score from Telford at home to Solihull Moors yet. Histon are 1-0 up at home to Gainsborough Trinity, who we played on Tuesday. Histon were a tough team last year. They were a team that threatened to kick on towards the end of the season, but a real difficult place to go and get a result, as Gainsborough are finding today. I imagine some of their young players are learning a lesson or 2 in long away days down there. Leamington at home 0-0 with Gloucester City, where we head next Saturday.
Yes.
Looking forward to that drive. Now, North Ferriby United 1-0 up at half-time at home to Boston. Now, North Ferriby, I don't know if you've read a bit about them, Tom, but I think they could be a team that's in the mix this year.
Well, I've got to say, on Saturday it was a 5-0 loss against Harrogate Town, but the man of the match was Harrogate Town's goalkeeper. He made 5 or 6 world-class saves, and really North Ferriby easily could have had 2 or 3 goals. I watched that game, and North Ferriby were really unlucky to lose by such a margin. But Harrogate Town, it's got to be said, maybe they're going to be one of the favourites for a playoff place as well. Of course, one of our local neighbours.
Yeah, I think we head there on Boxing Day, don't we? That's our Boxing Day New Year's double header again this year. I read something before. We were doing the research for the Gainsborough game, and I read something that one of the Gainsborough officials had said. They weren't going to be able to pay their players an awful lot this year. Their financial backers had come out, but he said, look, unless you're playing for North Ferriby or for Harrogate, you're not going to get as much money in this division this year as you did in previous years. And so that automatically marks those teams out. If they've got a bit of a reputation as having a few quid that they can afford to throw the way of some new signings, and maybe some players can be convinced to come and play at a club they wouldn't have otherwise considered, then that's going to put them in the mix. Harrogate, we've seen, have spent money assembling a very good team. The question has always been whether they can pull that team together and get results. We know they've had Dave Merris, who is still, I think, playing very, very well there.
Yes, he is.
And obviously a Guiseley fan favourite here. And it's a shame to see him go after all that time. It's always nice to see someone like that come back to Nethermore and get a good reception, and it'll be good to go and see them play there on Boxing Day as well. But Harrogate have got a good team, and they'll be certainly their owner, who is of course the manager's father, I think, there, so there's not a huge amount of pressure on his job, but the owner will be expecting to see a return on that investment. As the players come back out onto the pitch here at Nethermore, we better just give you the last few half-time scores. Oxford City 0-0 at home to Brackley Town. Stalybridge Celtic 1-1 at home to Bradford Park Avenue. Goal by McConville there early on for Stalybridge Celtic. Richard Marshall equalising in the 8th minute, very, very quickly pegged back, and they are level at half-time. Stockport County 0-0 at home to Colwyn Bay, we've already talked about. Vauxhall Motors 1-1 at home to Altrincham, we've talked about. Hensford Town are at Worcester today, and they find themselves 2-1 up on their travels at half-time. They're new to this division, and Worcester City find themselves 2-1 down at the break. So it's all shaping up in the early going here. One or two teams that we've expected to make a showing early on in the season, not doing it yet. And to an extent, you can argue maybe Guiseley are one of those teams.
Yeah. Well, the players are now back out on the pitch, so I'll be handing the microphone back to Colin Robertson at the beginning of the second half.
Thanks, Tom. We've got our tea just in time, and the players are out for this second 45. And Guiseley haven't made any changes at the break. Neither have the visitors, so it's as we are for both teams. Workington now shooting from left to right in their red shirts and white shorts and red socks. And Guiseley in the white shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Defending now the railway end of the ground. And Workington get the ball into the area, but of course it's just gone behind for a goal kick, as they thought they'd just kept it in play after making some neat headway down the left-hand side. Just to reiterate the teams for you: Steve Drench for Guiseley, a back four, which has Jack Greer and Rhys Maynell as the two full-backs, Rhea at right-back and Maynell at left, Ellis and Eblay the two centre-halves. Holding midfielders are Jake Scott and Michael Potts, a three of Rothery, Brooksby and Hobson, and then up front it's Phil Marsh ploughing the furrow on his own. And Workington, if you're tuned in from Workington, I'll give you their lineup in the moment, but they're just moving down the centre of the pitch, looking to break down Guiseley. Doing very well actually at the moment here. Ross Wilson getting a header, but for Jamil, Eblay steps across and launches the ball clear up towards Phil Marsh actually, who's on the left-hand channel as he looks to attack the Workington back line here. He's under great pressure from Wordsworth. Wordsworth has been too physical according to the referee, and so is out into touch. It's gone for a free kick for Guiseley. Must be a good 30-40 yards from goal. A few yards in from the left-hand side, and Rhys Maynell looks to distribute this. Plenty of white shirts in the penalty area. Maynell hoofs it up towards Hobson. Hobson gets a flick on, and it's just gone behind for a goal kick. And a very good start there from the line. So we'll quickly go down the Workington team. Well, Nick just enjoys his coffee. This is on a bit of a marathon commentary for Nick this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm afraid I've burnt my tongue already there early in the second half. That's an early injury. We might need a substitution.
Workington lineup with Jonathan Mitchell, Dominic Kennedy, Gavin Skelton, Kyle May, Dan Wordsworth, Stephen Hindmarch, Scott Allison, David Lynch, Johnny Wright, who's the captain, Joseph Jackson and Ross Wilson. 2 yellow cards so far for Gavin Skelton and Kyle May for Workington, none for Guiseley. A fall down there from Kyle May, the man who is on a yellow card, on Phil Marsh, gives a free kick away. Another one for Guiseley, pretty identical from the one that they just earned a few minutes ago. And a chance for Maynell to take it short this time. Rothery down the left-hand side, looks to get down to the touchline, but he's under pressure from Wilson. Plays it back to Maynell. Maynell gets it in the area, flicked up in the air by Kennedy, up towards the goalkeeper, under pressure from Hobson. The goalkeeper, Jonathan Mitchell, does well, holds the ball, and it's going to be a chance for Mitchell to just calm things down. 2 good moments there for Guiseley. Not the best first half of football, but some good football played in patches, and the Lions had a good chance when Phil Marsh almost went through. Guiseley, meanwhile, have just picked up the ball inside their own half. Jake Scott's played it long into the Workington half, but there's only Gavin Skelton there. He's joined by Wayne Brooksbury. Good football there from Jack Greer to win the ball back, but Skelton picks a second ball up and lofts it long. Ellis, a towering header from Danny Ellis, picks out Wayne Brooksbury now. Brooksby goes past one, plays it square, just loses his footing at the crucial time. Hindmarch picks up the loose ball, but Hindmarch's ball isn't that good, and Gavin Rothery picks that up before Rothery is dispossessed. And it's been pretty much a story of the game so far, sort of loose passes and long balls.
Yeah, guys, they're doing all the work, but just yet to unlock that defence with the final ball. on the floor. We've had 1 or 2 chances coming over from crosses in the air onto Craig Hobson's head, but just looking to see if they can thread that final ball through on feet that would get to.
Now Workington have got into the area here. The ball's played across the face of goal. It's a real chance for Workington. They can't get it down. It's Wilson. He takes a shot, and then it's cleared. It was Wright, in fact, who took a shot very weak, right inside the 6-yard box after a chance came from nothing. And now it's going to be a Workington throw, but it was good work from Allison. Just got the ball across the 6-yard box. It seemed to go in slow motion, Nick.
Yeah, a real scrap in the box there. Jake Scott just getting turned by the wily right there and carved himself out of space for an opportunity, but as you say, the finish was weak.
Now Workington have a throw. He sense an opportunity here. It's going to be Gavin Skelton launches it. He's about level with the edge of the 6-yard box, plays it in towards that area, headed on by Potts, looking for the head of Allison, who can't get onto the end of it. Flicked on down, and a chance. Really soft shot, just a deftest of connections there from Joseph Jackson on the edge of that 6-yard box. Just couldn't send it goal bound. Steve Drench was flat-footed. He didn't have a chance of getting onto it if it was going goal bound. And somehow Guiseley have just, they've ridden their luck there on 2 occasions there in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, they've had their warning there early in the second half. They are definitely not a team to be taken lightly here, Workington. They've got every opportunity of getting a goal here. In fact, we've said they've had the better chances already in the game.
Well, they have now threatened that goal on 2 occasions in the second half, and they've won the ball back again here. Johnny Wright, the captain, playing it out wide here towards Wilson. Wilson runs at his man, beaten eventually by Potts. It's helped away by Potts and out into touch. Final touch just helped out by Kennedy, and he's going to have the throw. Kevin Rothery throws it up in the air just in front of him. The visiting fans getting into their voice. And the visitors play the ball short into Jackson. They come down this right-hand side once again. Cut out by Maynell. Guiseley just have to be on their discipline, don't they, in this spell of pressure?
Yeah, they've got to keep their concentration because Workington are putting them under some early pressure. The manager will have told them to come out and really get into them after half-time, see if they can exploit 1 or 2 of these opportunities they've been making.
Good work by Wilson, gets the ball across the face of the 6-yard box. Well held by Steve Drench, who was anticipating that ball very well and tries to set a counter-attack up, but all it's done is given the ball back to Kyle May and then to Hindmarch, who plays the ball forward. Wright goes down under the challenge of Eblay, nothing given. Played forward by Maynell. The flick on by Marsh, trying to find Hobson. Hobson just a little bit late to it. Gets a late tackle here on Gavin Rothery. And the big shout comes up for the tackle, and the referee's going to go across to him. What do you make of that, Nick?
The referee's tried to let the game go there. There's been a shout for either team at either end there, but eventually the third challenge has gone in, and he's given it to Guiseley just inside the Workington half on the left, just in front of the dugouts.
Well, it's Dominic Kennedy who's the offender, but he just gets the talking to. Love the way the referees do that calm down hands motion.
Yes. Yes.
You know exactly what they've got to say.
Universal language.
Yeah. Guys, you now have a free kick. Reece Maynell on the left touchline, plays it long into the area. Well, the only man who was underneath it was Mitchell. Nobody went towards that penalty spot. I don't think it's necessarily a bad ball, but Workington can start a counter-attack very quickly, and they have the ball here with Wright. Wright's only got Rea to beat. Rea does really well. A good tackle from Jack Rea, but so simple that guys were carved open there.
They were, but Jack Rea's done ever so well there. He held himself off from diving in, and he's kept himself in a position to make the clearance.
Skelton now with the ball, gets it into the area. Workington looking like they're more likely to score. The shot comes in there from Lynch from the edge of the area, but it's held by Drench. It wasn't a very good connection, was it, there? But 2 or 3 occasions, guys have just been picked open. And now the ball once again picked up by the visitors. Hindmarch plays it out towards Ross Wilson, but he can't keep it in touch. He's gone behind for a throw-in. Yeah, and guys are struggling to make 1 or 2 passes stick at the moment. The ball just bouncing off 1 or 2 people's shins, and they're struggling to get it down and get any rhythm going in the middle of the field. It's just a little bit more direct, isn't it? Sometimes the ball's moving forward before we've had a chance just to get a feel of the ball, try to dictate ourselves onto the game.
Yeah, and we saw Gainsborough doing exactly that on Tuesday night when Darren Stamp was struggling to get forward from the back, and they were playing it up just too quickly.
Now Hobson has the ball, plays a good ball out wide here towards Brooksby. Brooksby's got Skelton to beat, goes in towards the 18-yard box, comes across him, plays a lovely ball back, but nobody quite there to get it in that territory. Picked up by Potts though, plays it back to Jack Rea. Rea can play the ball into the area, up towards Hobson. Hobson can't get on the end of it. It's flicked off the head of Wright, and it's gone behind for a corner.
It was begging for a person to be on the end of that pass from Wayne Brooksby, wasn't it there? He'd done so well beating this man inside the area. He looks so dangerous with the ball at his feet again.
So you're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio, bringing you the exclusive commentary of Guiseley versus Workington here in the Skrill North. We have 54 minutes gone. Guiseley have a corner, still goalless though. Brooksby whips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Eblay gets onto it, a header that comes back off, and then a rasping drive from the edge of the area from Gavin Rothery, but it's no direction. It goes high and behind for a goal kick. But what an opportunity that was there for Guiseley. A good ball in there from Wayne Brooksby. Found the head of Jamil Eblay and was prevented from going any further by Kyle May. And then on the edge of the area, Gavin Rothery. A firm drive, but just didn't have the direction, and it's gone behind. So we start again with Mitchell. He launches it clear up towards the back line where Jamil Eblay's having a real battle on his hands. Workington win the ball once again. It goes towards Allison. Jack Rea's ahead of him. Controls it a little awkwardly with his knee at first. Keeps it from going behind for a corner. It's gone out for a throw. Skelton will take. It's just up from the corner flag. On the left-hand side as Workington attack the Guiseley goal.
One of the things we were talking about at half-time, Colin, was when, if it stays 0-0, what time Steve Kittrick might be tempted to make a change from the bench. Now, there's no substitutes warming up yet, but that is a question that will be interesting to see how it plays out in this half.
Throw taken. Potts has the ball. Played forward. Won this time by Lynch, but then picked up again by Brooksby. Brooksby's got Marsh. Marsh on the right-hand side. He's onside. He's now got the option to run in towards the penalty area, but he's still got players to beat. Gets across the face of goal, a shot, and in the end his right-footed shot didn't have the angle at all, and it's gone behind rather harmlessly.
He's gone for glory there, hasn't he? He's gone at the near post. I wonder if there might have been one or two people interested in seeing a ball knocked square across the face of goal there.
Well, Steve Kittrick on the far side, I don't know if he's not one to get animated, but he sort of looked very frustrated at that moment there. But Marshy did have Hobson and Brooksby coming forward. But in all fairness, you know, he just got the better of Dan Wordsworth. Perhaps saw the chance to drill the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. Just didn't have the finish on him, did he?
Yeah, it's positive. As we've said all game, the chance is being made, but it's just not quite coming off in front of goal just yet.
Won by Eblay from the goal kick. Up here towards Hobson. Hobson under close pressure, wins one ball and then wins the second. Does Potts, but knocks it out for a throw.
Excellent pressure by Guiseley in the midfield there. Really, really good closing down.
Workington now with a throw. Lofted forward, up towards Allison. Headed on by Brooksby. Good ball for Potts. Well, Potts has actually played in for a moment. They played in Jackson. I don't think he meant to find it. Well, he obviously didn't mean to find him, but Workington couldn't capitalise.
No, I think it was meant for Danny Ellis, but he'd not placed that anywhere near where he thought it was going to be going off his boot.
Workington now moved down the right-hand side. A long ball forward up towards Joseph Jackson. Hoiked into the air by Jamil Eblay. Bounces in the air after Hobson gets a head onto it. Eventually finds its way to the feet of Allison. Cut out by Scott. Scott sends it down the right-hand side. It's long again, looking for the run of Wayne Brooksby. Kyle May comes across and knocks it out into touch. Guiseley have the throw. And still no activity on the bench. It's been a good 13 minutes of the second half, so 58 minutes gone into the last half hour as we head. The Lions and Workington still locked, goalless. Workington slightly having the better of the opportunities now after 3 good chances in the second half. Guiseley have the throw though. Taken by Jack Rea into the area. Hobson, well, doesn't flick it on, just flicks it up into the air. Guiseley can't recover the second ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's really scrappy and untidy. And in the end, the right back, Dominic Kennedy, does well to head the ball down and launch a counter-attack here with Wilson running ahead of his men. Beats 2 of them before trying to feed in that killer pass. Eventually cut out well. And Guiseley can move down the left-hand side with Rhys Maynell. Rothery. Rothery plays it in a completely different direction to that Phil Marsh was looking for. Cheaply given away possession once again. Long ball forward towards Jackson. He claims he was pushed by Ebley, but it's gone out for a Guiseley throw.
And this is where we could see some frustration start to show among some of the younger players in the Guiseley team here. They're not getting the breakthrough. They've done all the hard work and they have worked very hard, but they've just not fashioned the chance they need to get a goal ahead.
Marsh wins the ball down the left-hand side, lays it back to Hobson. Gets it back, hooks that touchline, tries to go past his man. Can't. He's held up though, recovers possession, plays it into Rothery. Rothery and Marsh combine again. Rather ineptly, it has to be said, they've conceded possession, then Ebley almost lets the ball go all the way through to Jackson, but Ellis is there to tidy things up. Maynell lofts the ball towards the edge of the area, but it's overhit. And it's back with the goalkeeper, Jonathan Mitchell. It's a little bit frustrating to watch just at the moment. It's long ball forward again from Mitchell. Neither side getting the ball down, really, and passing it. They're both playing it long when they've got the opportunity.
No, and it's setting up a strange atmosphere now in the ground where home fans haven't seen a goal here for Guiseley yet this season, and there's a little bit of tension growing, a little bit of a restless feeling in the stand here.
The ball bounces over Danny Ellis's head. Nobody can get on the end of it in the penalty area. Eventually, Jack Greer steps across, does well, lofts the ball clear, under pressure from Allison. It goes forward, and the only man that's in the Workington half is Kyle May.
Yeah,
I have to say, I keep wanting to say Middlesbrough because this kit is the 1986 Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it's a Brian Robson era Middlesbrough kit, isn't it?
Very reminiscent of that to me. Workington pick the ball up once again. Won now by Kennedy. Plays it forward towards Johnny Wright, but it's cut out well by Jamil Ebley, and this time lofted into the half. May's under pressure, and he's been robbed by Marsh, but Marsh is back to goal. Now got two players on him, very little support ahead of him. Straight to go past three. He's pulled down, and he's won a free kick. And good work there from Phil Marsh.
Oh, that's excellent. He's got something out of absolutely nothing there. He's chased the defender down. He's won the ball. There's nobody around for him to pass to, so he's had to go it alone, and it's taken two men to bring him down on the edge of the box. And
it's a good angle for a free kick here. In the meantime, there will be a yellow card. It's going to be for Ross Wilson. He's been a real handful as Ross Wilson this afternoon, a real danger.
He's a big, strong lad, isn't he, for playing on the right of midfield. He's not your little skinny, tricksy winger. He's a big, strong lad, and he's been a real challenge for Gavin Rothery and for Rhys Maynell so far this afternoon.
62 minutes gone. Guiseley 0, Workington 0. Listening to Guiseley AFC radio. And at the moment, Guiseley have a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box, just about towards the angle of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Gavin Rothery steps over it, looks to distribute this into the area, straight into the wall, easily cleared. Picked up now by Maynell. Maynell looks for options, plays a good one left here to find Danny Ellis. He helps it back into the area, up towards Hobson. Hobson gets the header. It was wide of the mark, but applause goes around the ground as the attacking intent is shown. And we're going to have a change of the Lions. And there's going to be Adam Priestley who enters the field. And it's Phil Marsh's last contribution, that good little foray. And Phil Marsh gets a good warm round of applause from the crowd. He's certainly put full of endeavour this afternoon. Just not found the end product just yet.
No, that's right, but it's exactly what the Guiseley fans will be wanting to see from him. He's worked ever so hard. He's made himself one or two chances, carved out one or two half opportunities, and he's been there looking to get on the end of one or two longer passes through on the deck. So it's all positive, but not the goal that he wants for his confidence just yet.
Now Allison has the ball for Workington, 20 yards from goal, twists and turns, trying to get past Potts, does well. Back in from Allison into the area. Steve Drench clutches that one. No real threat on Drench, but he's been a live wire in the second half as Allison. Drench with a long clearance, once again another long ball, flicked on by Hobson. And then back with the goalkeeper. We saw Priestley come on against Colwyn Bay, but of course we were down to 10 men at that point. What do you reckon it'll do to the formation? Priestley into the left of the three and Hobson on his own up front?
Yeah, it looks like Gavin Rothery's tucking into the centre, where sort of just behind where Phil Marsh was playing. Hobson going up front at the very apex of the formation. We know that Priestley's going to put in a good shift.
Rothery now has won the ball. Good work from Brooksby to pick out Rothery. Rothery's got Hobson ahead of him. Picks a brilliant reverse ball out towards Priestley. Priestley just couldn't get on the end of it. Jonathan Mitchell very rapidly out of his goal. Well watched there, but really good creative running from Priestley. Good pass from Rothery. And that was perhaps Guiseley's best move of the second half.
Yeah, and they struggled to pick him up there, didn't they? As he came in off the left and moved across to the right-hand side of the box there, Priestley lost his man. Only the goalkeeper prevented him from being through on goal.
Workington, no sooner are they under pressure, launch the ball forward. A good flick on, to be fair, by Jackson. But he wasn't able, by Wilson, but Jackson wasn't able to get on the end of it. Drench launches it clear the other end. Jack Rea has it with Potts. Potts helps it forward towards Rothery. Rothery just can't get or escape the attentions of Stephen Hindmarch. And then Mitchell, under pressure from Hobson, launched his clearance. And then Eblay's punished for a free kick. And Guiseley now have to defend because they've taken it quick. And Skelton's coming down the left-hand side, tries to switch play. It goes out towards Wright. Wright gets the touch onto it, helps it down to Hindmarch. Then down on the right-hand side, Hindmarch keeps the ball moving. Down that left channel that Guiseley are defending, where Rhys Maynell launches it clear. Hobson can't hold on to the ball, and Skelton comes back down again as Workington look to undo Guiseley once more. Allison into the box. Drench gets a little palm on it. It's only as far as another red shirt, but eventually it's cleared by Guiseley, but the pressure's still on. I think it was Wilson who was in there on the end of it. Guiseley almost undone once again there by the ball into the area. Workington working very hard at the moment to get the ball back into that 18-yard box, but it's helped away by Potts. And now Rothery with a counter-attacking movement. Good move from Rothery to find Brooksby. Brooksby runs towards the edge of the 18-yard box. He's got Skelton to beat, takes a shot, takes a deflection off Skelton, and well held by Mitchell. But good counter-attacking move once again with Rothery at the heart of it, in the centre of those three.
Yeah, and Brooksby looking for the shot at the far post and looking to wrong foot the goalkeeper. The deflection, though, took it towards the near post and easy for Mitchell to collect.
Headed clearance by Eblay. Picked up then again by Kennedy. Up towards Maynell. Big shout from the Workington crowd for an incident involving Maynell and his opposite number, but nothing given from the referee. Rea has the ball now. Plays it short in towards grabbing Rothery. Rothery, well tackled by Hindmarch. Referee calls an advantage, and Rothery just keeps going with the ball onto the edge of the 18-yard box, gets a shot away, blocked by two players, earns a throw-in. Good work from Gavin Rothery.
Absolutely. He stayed on his feet after the challenge, and it gave him another chance to get some ground.
Throw-in goes to Rothery. Rothery now looking to dictate things in the heart of that midfield. Plays it out wide here to Maynell, into the area, headed away by Wordsworth, and out to another throw, and there's going to be another substitution. This time once again for Guiseley, and it's going to be the introduction of Burgess, and he'll be replacing Craig Hobson, who's another one who's worked very hard. So it's a complete change of the attacking options here.
Yeah, it looks like we've got two completely different strike teams, doesn't it? Look, two different strike partnerships. The Marsh and Hobson pairing, the Priestley-Burgess pairing. We didn't get a chance to see Burgess on Saturday because of the sending off.
So away we go once again. Another throw for Guiseley this time. Burgess is the intended target, but it goes beyond him. And Workington clear. And there's two players down that have collided with collided heads, I think. Yeah, so the referee quite rightly stops it. One of them's Jake Scott, and he's going to get more attention. And we just wait to see what happens there. But the last few minutes, at least, when Guiseley get the ball to Gavin Rothery, and he's at the heart of things, he seems to have become more to life in this game, playing at the centre of those three. Yeah,
because he's an intelligent player, he can switch roles quite readily there. He's been playing out on the left, getting himself well involved out there. Obviously, playing in the middle is a different role. He has to be on the ball a lot more. And just as we look at Jake Scott, I'm waiting to see if he's able to continue. Hush across the ground.
It is
a little bit spooky.
It is. It's a strange thing. But there's two substitutions as well. So they're both for the visitors. They've taken off Ross Wilson, who's on a yellow card. He's been replaced by Connor Tinian. And Ben McKenna is coming on for Scott Allison. So you can only assume, Ross Wilson's been a real live wire, I think. I think he's physically strong and he seems to be able to run and cause problems. He'll be a challenge, won't he? It would be interesting to see why they've taken him off, really.
Yeah, early in the season, you never know who's had a full pre-season, who's fully match fit. I guess that's a possibility. I would imagine they'd have wanted to keep him out there if he could, because he has looked a handful.
He's on a yellow card, of course. That always comes into managers' considerations, especially if he's a full-blooded player. In the meantime, we're still waiting for Jake Scott to recover. So he's moving on the ground there, but just being seen to. I think when if he's got a cut.
Sorry, Colin. I was just pointing. Jake Lawler's putting a shirt on over there, so it looks like there's a change being made.
Maybe he's going to come off. If he's got a cut, I was just going to say maybe sometimes they do try to deal as much of it on the pitch rather than have to spend time with 10 off it. But you're quite right. Jake Lawler is up and getting his instructions.
It looked like Martin Stringfellow, the Guiseley physio, is applying some pressure to the forehead there of Jake Scott. So potentially there was a blood injury of some sort, and they're just taking a moment to get that sorted out first before they make the substitution. But he looks like he's in a bit of pain. It looks like he's had a knock, but he's awake. He's certainly awake enough to. His body language says he knows that he's got hurt, so hopefully he'll be all right.
Well, hopefully all's well. I'm sure it is, to be fair. He's just getting the old perennial Terry Butcher bandage around the head. Gone are the days when you would end up with the same colour shirt from playing. He's up on his feet anyway. Gets a big applause. And all credit, Workington players were around just checking who's okay. And I think, like you say, it's going to be that change, isn't it?
Is it maybe a bit of a rite of passage in the career of a young player to have his first Terry Butcher bandage in a competitive fixture? But they're taking no chances with him, as you say. As soon as they got him bandaged up, he was jogging off the pitch. And Jake Lawler just waiting for the signal to come on now.
And good to see, sportingly, the ball kicked back. As Jake Lawler waits to make his entry. He can't do so until such time as the ball goes out of play and the substitute can be made. And Guiseley just have to wait for that moment. So in the meantime, they're down to 10. But Potts has got the ball. It bounces nicely in towards the edge of the area and then bounces off James Burgess and away. For a moment, it looked like it was going to fall very kindly for the front man. The substitute couldn't get past it. And then Jaleel Eblay, rather clumsy tackle. And the centre-half, the young centre-half, is going to go in the book, I think, for the number of tackles he's done, rather than the incident itself.
He was a bit slow to turn there. The strikers tried to roll him there, and he's just stood up facing forward a little bit too long. Didn't look like he was going to get around and follow the ball. So I think that's a fair decision by the referee, really.
Well, the one thing he does do is he gets Jake Scott the opportunity, the substitute of Jake Lawler to come on. The opportunity. He might have been rather confused because as he came to the pitch there was boos from the Guiseley fans, but there were boos for the yellow card that Jaleel Eblay was getting. I hope he doesn't get mixed messages from that particular
Nothing
incident.
personal.
Now Workington have a free kick just inside their own half. Launched it long towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Good header from Lawler. Out towards Burgess. All three substitutes have been used now from Guiseley's perspective. So Steve Kittrick has rolled the dice as far as he can. Whether he's going to get the 3 points is going to be in the lap of the gods now. The ball forward. Burgess is, Priestley rather, is winning the ball back from Kennedy, but Kennedy does very well. Eventually it requires Jake Lawler to step across and knock the ball out into touch. And then a throw-in comes in where Eblay, under pressure, has just let his man get past him. It's into the area and a great chance for Jackson. Super tackle there from Rhea, but then a loose ball given away once again. Workington keep the ball here with Tinian into the area, skips past Rhea, gets a left-footed drive away, blocked by Ellis, helped away now finally by Lawler, and Guiseley needs to just calm things down and get on top of this for a minute, but that ball from Lawler to Rhea is too far. Workington continue to press, this time with the short throw of Skelton. Back to Skelton from the throw, he helps it into the area. This should be Steve Drench's ball. It is, and we can breathe a sigh of relief.
I'm not sure we can here.
No, quickly do we do so, though. Then a super distribution from Drench. Picks out Burgess. Burgess down by the touchline. Has to beat 2 or 3 players. Does well. Plays it back towards Potts. Potts from distance. Has a few options ahead of him. Under pressure. Bundled over once, but gets the ball forward, and it's blocked out eventually by Tinian. And Guiseley now can turn the screw a little bit themselves. Rio short to Potts. Potts plays the ball into Burgess. Burgess, nice little flick onto Brooksby. Brooksby tries to get past May. May's a bit too wily for that and helps the ball out for a throw-in. A good movement there from Guiseley after so nearly being undone at the other end.
And Guiseley need to capitalise. There's not as much of the game left as they'd like.
It is a corner, in fact. Corner to Guiseley. 0-0 here on Guiseley AFC Radio. The corner comes in. Flicked away. And now we've almost got a counter-attack. It's how to turn attack into defence for a moment here, because they come down this left-hand side to Workington with Ben McKenna, the substitute. He's got Jack Rea to beat. Puts a good cross in with his right boot. It's headed away by Maynell, but only as far as Hindmarch. Hindmarch lines up the shot from distance, goes over the crossbar. Goal kick to Guiseley. But that will infuriate the management staff.
No, I mean, we've got a real end-to-end game developing here, but it should never... I mean, it's such a waste of a corner that it should never have been relieved the pressure on the Workington end so easily. They need to take advantage of one or two of these opportunities they make, otherwise this is going to end up a fruitless game again.
Goal kick. Steve Drench launches it forward, headed away by Wordsworth. Down to McKenna. Substitute looks lively, but he's robbed here by Gavin Rothery. Rothery tries to go back the other substitute. He's told to get up because it was Ben McKenna who was adjudged not to have pulled him down. Rothery's a bit disgruntled about that, but did well in the first place to win the ball back. Now Workington can start another movement down the left-hand side. Big shout that Rhys Maynell handled it, but he dawdles on the ball and he's beaten to it by Wright. And then Maynell's adjudged to have pulled him back. And actually, I think they... centre forward there, the experienced centre forwards, earned that free kick somewhat.
Yeah, I'm not having that, I'm afraid, Colin. He's run across Rhys Maynell and then just fallen down. And with Maynell in between him and the referee's just assumed there was a foul there. With Maynell blocking the view of it, I'm not too happy about that.
Well, they've earned a free kick of Workington. Rhys Maynell has earned a yellow card, rather frustratingly. Now we've got a dangerous opportunity here for Workington. They've got 6 players in the area, red shirts, 5 of them lining up on the edge of the 6-yard box. And it's about level with the edge of the 18-yard box on the right-hand side as they attack the goal. Whipped in with force and speed. Has to be pushed over by Stephen Drench from just dipping underneath the crossbar. Stephen Drench had a very good, sharp eye on that and has just pushed it over the bar.
Yeah, that's a palm stinger, isn't it? And he's just managed to tip it over and then get his own head under the bar without cracking himself on the crossbar as he's falling into his own net. It was a really difficult one to tip over.
So corner now to Workington, who have had their chances in this second half. The ball whipped in towards the back post, over ahead of Ebley, into the 6-yard box. Nobody can get on the end of it. Workington do with Wright. Wright blasts it into the Guiseley defence. They've managed to clear it this time. Connor Tinian picks up the loose ball. Well won back here by Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby immediately surrounded by 4 or 5 players. Does well though. Backs the ball to Priestley. Priestley plays it square under immense pressure. And then Workington recover the ball as Guiseley try to get the counter-attack away and are prevented from doing so. Headed away by Maynell. Up towards Lawler. Lawler gets a good flick on. And then Rothery, rather loose touch, gives the ball back to Workington. And McKenna, the substitute, under pressure himself, plays the ball back here to Wordsworth. It comes into the feet of Kennedy, and then he helps it on, and Guiseley now have to defend once more because Workington stepping forward with numbers, and a very tame effort in the end from Lynch. Hands possession back to Guiseley. And immediately Drench tries to launch it forward on the counter-attack. Clearly a foul on Burgess from Wordsworth. And Guiseley have a free kick.
I think Burgess has done the right thing there, just stand still with the defender piggybacking him, both feet off the ground, and then just stood there and looked at the referee and said, what do you think of this?
Guiseley about, must be 30 yards from goal. It's some distance from goal. They'll have to play this into the area. It's beyond shooting range distance. It's fairly central. There's the presence of Jamil Ebley and Danny Ellis in the edge of the 18-yard box. So it's going to be lofted in here, I think, by Rothery. Referee gets the wall back. Don't think a wall is needed. And the kick is duly taken. Whipped in towards the back post where Ellis was looking. Away from him, I'm afraid, and behind for a goal kick.
I'm afraid it's time to start thinking about the possibility of this finishing 0-0 today. It's a game that's constantly threatened to spark into life. It's promised a lot, but neither team has delivered.
At the moment, with 12 minutes to go, it looks like the most likely outcome. goalkeeper Mitchell. Long ball forward. Ellis having a bit of a battle there with Jackson. Wins it. But Workington step forward once again. Kennedy plays it out wide. Played into the area. Good ball. Headed away by Ellis. And then McKenna goes looking for his seconds. It's cleared well by Priestley. Up to Burgess. Burgess takes it down. Good first touch. Second one gets stuck under his feet. And Workington win possession once again. Cut out well by Priestley. And gone behind for a throw-in on the halfway line. And you're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio. Don't forget, hopefully bringing you live commentary from next week's game. A long trip down to Gloucester. At the moment, this one has still got 10 minutes to go. And Workington trying to carve something out here from distance. A shot comes in. It's Connor Tinian, the substitute. On his left boot, Steve Drench had that covered. He was just watching that go over the bar. It's been the visitors who've had the better of the chances.
They have, and that's what's been so frustrating, because Guiseley have not played badly, but they haven't made the chances at the other end that would have given them the opportunities, enough opportunities, clear ones, to give themselves a good chance of winning this game. Still time.
Ball forward by Drench, picked up well by Jackson, and then a loose ball, and Hindmarch charges through. He's only got Ebley to beat, goes into the area. Great tackle from Ebley. Hindmarch gets the second ball though this time. He's got his back to goal, plays it square, and a shot goes firing over the bar. I think it was by Lynch in the end, but just a little bit of confusion, and Hindmarch just marched through the Guiseley defence, and great work there from Jamil Ebley to recover the situation.
It was a good recovery from Ebley in the end, but they're talking amongst themselves here. Ebley, Danny Ellis, Reece Maynell again, working out how on earth that happened. Who was supposed to be watching who there? It's a break from midfield, so maybe they hadn't got a clear idea of who was supposed to be following him.
Trench launches it forward, headed on. Guiseley now once again under the cosh, having to defend once again. McKenna comes down the right-hand side. He's charging forward and runs at Reece Maynell. Takes a check on his run, plays it out wide to the right back, Kennedy. Kennedy gets in with his left foot, in towards a penalty spot, headed away by Ebley. Ebley just helps it on really well to Rothery. Rothery's not seen much of the ball in the last 10 minutes. Holds the ball because he's got no options ahead of him. Plays it long in the end towards Burgess. Easily defended by Kennedy and headed all the way back to the goalkeeper.
I think Wayne Brooksby wanted it there, but he stood with his back to goal inside his own half. It was going to kill the move to pass it to him. No other options on.
Maynell plays a long ball forward. It's aimless. Goes into the hands of the goalkeeper. 9 minutes to go, and it's goalless here. And Guiseley have perhaps struggled in the second half to craft out the same opportunities as Workington. Rothery and Kennedy combine to collide, in the middle of the park, but it goes out for a throw-in. Front of the Guiseley dugout, where Kennedy takes it.
Yeah, and the shape's not been bad, has it? And the possession's not been awful. And Brooksby, Gavin Rothery have looked dangerous, but it's just not come off, as we've kept saying. I know we're going on about it like a broken record. It's not a bad performance by any means, but just not getting it in the final third.
Now, there's a chance here for Lynch to go charging through the area. A great recovery tackle there from Jack Greer. Just a simple ball forward, 1-2, and Jack Greer had to pull out a fantastic tackle to deny Lynch. Immediately up the other end, Burgess battles, does really well, wins the ball. Can he get it into the penalty area? Goes down to the touchline, gets the ball massively overhit, and it goes out behind for a goal kick.
Such a physical player, isn't he, James Burgess? And he saw Kyle May off the ball, shoved him over almost, it looked like. I don't think there was a foul, but he was just so strong that he went past him. And we talk about Jack Greer back here. Now, he has been a revelation, I think, since coming over to right back. He's been one of the real pluses. He looks like he's taken to playing in that position. He's been a midfielder since he come to Guiseley. We know he's played right back earlier in his career or elsewhere. But he has been there. He has been working so hard as well. He's been coming across and covering, throwing himself in there in the box.
Played right back last season at Worcester and did very well actually on that day too.
Yeah, I think he was signed very much as a midfielder. But we know we've got lots of midfielders now, and there was a bit of a kind of opening sort of at right back. No one had really nailed that position down in pre-season. Jamil Eblay can play it. Andy Holdsworth had been playing in it in one or two friendlies, but there was obviously a feeling that he's very influential in midfield, and maybe that's where the experience is needed. So he's been the one that's been asked to play out there, and he's really taken to it, to be fair.
Just had a little hold up because David Lynch was just requiring some attention. The Workington midfielder, who had the chance just a couple of moments ago, denied by Jack Rhea, and a wonderful tackle, as we were talking about his performance at right back. Back underway now. The ball once again in the Guiseley half. Jake Lawler gets it down towards Jack Rhea. Rhea looks ahead of him. 6 minutes to go. Plays the long ball forward. A great ball too. Sends Adam Priestley on his way. He's got the side of Hindmarch, but Hindmarch works really well. Sorry, Wordsworth it was, the centre-half, who did so well to get back and take the ball away from Priestley, just as Guiseley looked like they might have had something there. Jack Rhea now has the ball, tries to play it through. The substitute finds it towards Burgess, then finds Priestley. Priestley launches it goal-bound. A great acrobatic save from Jonathan Mitchell. A wonderful strike there from Priestley. But a wonderful save too from Mitchell, denies the Lions.
Oh, what a fantastic chance that was. What a fantastic chance. Knocking it up with one foot, turning, then launching it towards the top corner. And it was a great save by the goalkeeper. Bringing the crowd to life as well, maybe if they can get a
corner now.
noise.
Brooksby roughs it into the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked away, picked up here by Potts, and now Guiseley have turned attack into defence once again from the corner, and they're having to defend because McKenna comes forward over the halfway line, plays it forward up towards Jackson. Well watched there by Jake Lawler, steps across and wins the ball, plays it to Potts. Potts plays it down this left-hand side where Burgess goes chasing here. He tries to take it off Kennedy, but Kennedy shows a very cool head and takes it past Burgess and then launches it into midfield, and Workington wonder how to set out another attack, and in the end a long aimless ball will be tidied up by Jamil Eblay.
Guys, you need to turn this over quickly now if they want to make another chance. Not many minutes left on the clock.
Ball forward from Eblay. Brooksby tries to get his head onto it, he can't. It's taken down by Hindmarch. Good 1-2 between Hindmarch and McKenna. Gets the ball down the left-hand side. Cut out well by Jamil Eblay. Rather a loose touch by Rhys Maynell, concedes a throw-in. And we head into the last 5. The game just coming to life almost from Guiseley a few moments ago. Adam Priestley with the best chance Guiseley have had in the second half. A great save from Mitchell denying him, but Workington certainly have had chances to score in the second period. And Guiseley now having to defend once again, this time Tinian. Square now to Lynch. Lynch up towards Wright. Wright plays a good ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, whereas a chance here for a shot on goal from Lynch, but it's easy for the goalkeeper. Sorry, McKenna it was, the substitute. Easy for the goalkeeper, Drench, to claim. Long ball forward from Drench, taken down really well by the physical presence of Burgess, who then opts to take sort of 30-yard drive at goal, but it's, needless to say, it's gone high and wide.
A 30-yard volley on the turn, on the spot, on his left foot. It was very, very ambitious, that. One or two people shaking their heads at that decision, wondering why he's gone for that.
Oh, frustrating. Guys, he's sort of playing a 4-4-2 now, aren't they, with Priestley and Burgess? Not got that same shape. When the way they're lining up here, it's very much a 2 up front now.
Good spot. Gavin Rothery's now playing on the right of midfield. Wayne Brooksby's over on the left. It looks like they've shifted or switched at some point.
Now taken down well by Brooksby, but Brooksby's lost out once again, and Workington come forward. Jamil Eblay gets his head into it, and then it's well collected here by Wright. Wright tumbles over off the ball, and Kennedy takes it down inside his own half. The right back comes forward and then lays it back, and Guiseley now everybody inside their own half except for Priestley and Burgess, who are just a couple of yards into the opposite territory. Workington dictating possession at the moment. McKenna down this right-hand side. The substitutes had an impact since coming on for Wilson. It blasts it up. Maynell gets a deflection. One back here. Brooksby square now to Potts. Can Guiseley do something with this? Potts on the back foot there. Gets it to Lawler. Lawler ekes out some space by getting out right here to Rhea. Onto Rothery on the halfway line. No options ahead of him. Both players static. Plays out wide to Rhea, who comes on the overlapping run down the right flank. He gets it down towards the corner flag, plays it back here to Rothery. Rothery chips it into the area, nobody on the end of that one, and it's headed away by Lynch. Chance now for Workington to counter. They launch it long, looking for the on-run of Wright. Wright's beaten Maynell for pace. Drench has to come out of his goal, heads it, only as far as Wright, who tries to lob the keeper from distance, and it's well over.
That was unorthodox goalkeeping, where Stephen Drench had come a long way out of his area. Good solid head. Bought him enough time to get himself back into his goal in the end. The risk when you push all your players forward is that you're going to leave some opportunities at the back, but Guiseley do want to get forward and try and find a goal here.
Long ball forward, last minute of this game. Burgess goes looking for it, tries to get past the goalkeeper, gets the ball off the goalkeeper. Burgess's presence, more than anything, forced the error, and Guiseley have won a corner.
He does seem to panic players, doesn't he, James Burgess? Just with his presence. He's obviously a very difficult player to mark.
And up steps Wayne Brooksby to take this corner. It's on the right-hand side as Guiseley attack this Workington goal. There's plenty of players in there. There's Jake Lawler, there's Burgess, there's Ebley, there's Ellis. It's going to be a long one up towards the back post. Ellis has a chance to knock it back. It's goal bound. Jake Lawler takes an overhead kick. It flicks up inside the 6-yard box. Ebley can't get onto it. Brooksby tries to win it, but good work there from Dan Wordsworth. Helps away up to the halfway line where Jackson collects. Played forward down the left-hand side of the pitch, and now McKenna can counter-attack here down the left-hand side. He's got Jack Rea to beat. Goes twists and turning in his position. Rea just holds him up now. Plays it into Lynch though. Does McKenna, and then the ball in, helped back to the goalkeeper by Rhys Maynell.
Good defending by Jack Rea. He stuck at his job there. He didn't get turned easily.
5 minutes extra. Drench just launches one for long. We're going to have a very tense last 5 minutes, I think, because both sides are going to go for the winner.
Yeah, look, Workington, for all that we've complained about Guiseley, Workington's finishing has been awful, hasn't it? Every single one has gone straight into Stephen Drench, but if one goes into the corner or high...
Workington have the ball once again. Tinian, substitute, plays it back here to Hindmarch. And Hindmarch helps it on, looking to find Tinian, but it's cut out well by Maynell. Back into the Workington half as we enter the final period. Stoppage time. I've had a minute of that already by my accounts. Who knows how many extra minutes we might have today. No, we've let that go.
Yes.
The throw-in is Workington's at the moment. It's about level with the edge of the centre circle inside the Guiseley half on the right-hand side as a Workington attack. Launch it forward, headed away, and then picked up by Wayne Brooksby, who's bundled over. And it's Lynch, I think, who might end up in the book here. He goes running away, and then looks, what, me, ref? And I think Lynch knew exactly what he was doing there, to be fair to him. Referee Glenn Hart, who's had a good game this afternoon. Has booked 6 players, though, and it's not been...
Oh, you're always going to have some decisions you don't agree with, aren't you? But what we can say is the referees had no influence on the outcome of the game today. He's
3 minutes left.
Okay.
We'll wait and see, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Steve Drench has the free kick inside the Guiseley half. It's a long one forward, over the head of Danny Ellis, and straight out. Just at the moment, it's just not working, is it, in the build-up play in the final third?
Yeah, and listen again, the Workington fans definitely the happier of the 2 sets as we approach the final whistle. Really good support from them. It's always good to see a team come with plenty of people in the team's colours as well. Gives them a big presence in the ground, and I'm sure their fans have been well appreciated by the players today. Been a lot more vocal than the home fans, it has to be said.
The attendance has been announced, 417 today. Guiseley, meanwhile, have the ball inside their own half. A long one forward. Speculative. Priestley's offside. And the flag goes up. And it'll be a free kick to Workington. And I think, really, we've got 2 minutes left. It's just lost that sort of tempo. We actually thought we'd have more of a tense start. It's sort of been a very much broken up last 5 minutes, hasn't it?
It looks like we've reached a stalemate now, yeah. I don't think Guiseley will be particularly content with the draw, but...
Flicked on from the free kick, and it's gone out for a goal kick. More aimless play. The best chance, really, for the Lions was that wonderful strike from Adam Priestley. Great save from Jonathan Mitchell, though. Real acrobatic, strong hands to force it over the bar. Guiseley now have the opportunity to force out one more chance. The ball's put through to Priestley. Priestley takes a shot just wide of the right upright. He had options to his right, Burgess is looking at him, Rothery's looking at him. He opted to shoot with the right boot. Couldn't even hit the target, it's gone past the post.
You want a striker who's going to back themselves in that position on the edge of the box, but just couldn't get it on goal. And you can't help wonder, should he have moved it right and given it to someone who was a little bit squarer?
Well, it was good work. It was a good ball through. It was Brooksby, I think, who played the ball through. Priestley just playing off the shoulder of his man. Did very well, actually, to get in the position and beat his man to the ball to get onto the edge of the 18-yard box, but just couldn't direct the shot. Chances, once again, just difficult for Guiseley to capitalise on. The ball goes forward now. Priestley's looking for this one as Guiseley make one last foray forward. It's with Potts. Potts helps it down the left-hand side. Neither Brooksby nor Burgess will get it. But just to be sure, May launches it, well, onto the A65 somewhere, so that ball might not actually even be returned. It might be flat as a pancake by the time it comes back.
Eddie's got a long walk to fetch that one back, hasn't he?
Last chance saloon to get anything out of this game, 3 points out of this game. A long throw to be taken here on the left-hand side. Is that Jack Rea who stepped up? Yeah, it is. Jack Rea with a long throw on the edge of the 18-yard box, launches it in towards Burgess. Nobody gets it. Rea gets it back into the area with his foot, into the feet of Ebley. Then Danny Ellis, headed off the line. Ellis with a header, back into the 6-yard box. Jake Lawler! A last-minute winner for Guiseley. Jake Lawler on the edge of the 6-yard box has gifted the Lions all 3 points and a wonderful header, a wonderful end to this game. And it's great work there from Jack Rea and Danny Ellis that's been the build-up too.
And we wondered if it would come today. We wondered if it would come. We wondered if the game had petered out. What a scramble. After the clearance off the line, it looked certain that that opportunity had gone. But you can hear what it means to the home fans here.
Well, that's a fantastic end to this game. Guys, I tell you what, you wouldn't put it past anything in the last minute. We just need to tidy up and be tight now into this last 2 minutes. That's a real sickener for Workington, but a wonderful end there. It was a throw-in that was launched in, and Jack Rea did well to get the ball back into the area. Unconventionally held back in from Danny Ellis having his header come back off the line. You thought that was it?
Yeah, after all the planning, after all the tactical effort that had gone in, it was a case of get bodies in the box and scramble it and force a chance home.
And the referee blows the final whistle. Oh, well, for most of it, it was stalemate. And in fact, in fairness, Workington will feel greatly aggrieved because they had chances in that second half to score the goal that would have given them potentially the lead and potentially 3 points. They just couldn't finish. Guiseley had 2 or 3 chances themselves. I mean, wonderful effort from Adam Priestley in the second half. A great save from Jonathan Mitchell. Don't forget that Phil Marsh header after a good move from Rhys Maynell. But it was Jake Lawler, of all people, who came off the bench to replace the injured Jake Scott, and it was his header right at the death that separates the two sides. A wonderful goal, and a wonderful, well, not the greatest goal you'll see, but I mean, a wonderful goal at the great moment for us. And it's finished here, Guiseley 1, Workington 0.
Oh, you felt the pressure relieving the ground, didn't you? We felt the tension building up throughout that second half. People starting to get frustrated, and the team sticking at it. It looked like it had gone. It looked like the game had got away from them. And just thinking from the other point of view here, what an absolute sickener for Workington. They have worked so hard. They've been even players in this game. They've had more shots on target, although we've said that the finishing wasn't brilliant over the course of the 90 minutes. And Stephen Drench was never, ever at full stretch, never had anything less than a good solid hand behind everything that came his way. But nonetheless, you can see the Workington players sitting down here on the pitch. They must be.
Well, they'll be absolutely gutted, to be fair. And like you say, we hope we've brought it fairly even if there's any Workington fans who've listened in today. Your team's done tremendously well, I think, over the 90 minutes. Actually worked really hard and probably deserved to edge it. But, it's all about making those opportunities count. And right at the death there, we thought it had gone, but such a great tenacity, actually, to actually still be looking for the chances so late. And
bodies flying everywhere, weren't there? And we'd seen two chances already in that sequence. And to be honest, I was getting ready to turn away in disgust that was the final move of the game, and we've made nothing from it. But what a fantastic finish!
There we go. We've just about grabbed the 3 points.
And we've broken our duck, Colin. We've got our first Guiseley goal at Nethermore of the season.
Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've got any comments, do let us know. If you're a Guiseley fan, obviously, let us know on the forum or via Twitter. I'm at Menston United.
I'm at Nick Keefe, although good luck trying to spell that if you don't already know.
That's with a K. And
all K's and D's.
Yeah, you don't want to know. But hopefully on Saturday we'll be able to repeat the performance and, repeat the scoreline and repeat the commentary when we take the long trek down to Gloucester. But for now, thanks for listening in, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.